in Clemson, South Carolina. 83,000 strong and brimming with the optimism born of a new season. And then there's the added bonus of a bowl game, the 9th annual Bowden Bowl, where family and the family business of coaching collide head on. It's the Seminoles of Florida State taking on the Clemson Tigers in Death Valley. The fans of both schools expect the world from their football teams. They demand success on the field, no matter who coaches them.
Aging isn't optional. Getting old is. Time adds cracks, character. It adds dust and desire, mainly to prove the years haven't made a dent. Still dependable, still capable, even better for the lifetime of lessons learned. So Bobby Bowden hangs in there. Long as there's work to do, boys to lead, a team to run. That's Bobby's son on the other sideline, trying to make his own time last. Doing it the Bowden way. Tough, confident, proud under pressure. This is the family business. That means they play to win. They have to win. It's expected. It secures their future. Doesn't matter how many seasons each man has seen already. What matters is another one has come around. Another chance to drive their team into tomorrow and a long stretch of glory days.
Traditions of college football in the South is Howard's Rock, a symbol of effort and luck for the Tigers football program. On that when these teams come out. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick along with Todd Blackledge. It's great to have you with us. Holly Rowe will join us shortly. Yet another disappointing season for Florida State led to some massive coaching changes. Now that's going to pay off eventually, but what does it do for them right now?
Well, you're right. When Jeff Bowden resigned as offensive coordinator, it really opened the door for Bobby to make wholesale changes on his offense, led by a new coordinator, Jimbo Fisher, who came over to Tallahassee from LSU. And I think you're right. Bobby told us last night, I love the offense. Our coaches love it. But the real question is, how much do our kids grasp at this point? How much can they execute? You're right. This offense will be much better as the season goes along. The big question now, how good can they be tonight?
All right, there are changes for Clemson as well, including a brand new quarterback, but they do have two veteran running backs, and they're one of the great tandems in all of college football.
And a great running game is the best friend of a new quarterback. When you talk about James Davis, you're talking about thunder. He's got power. He's a strong physical runner, even stronger this year. He has patience, the ability to run that zone and set up his blockers, and he's a kind of guy who gets better as the game goes along. You want him in the fourth quarter. C.J. Spiller, he's lightning. He's got the velocity. He's a track All-American, great speed, very versatile, an excellent receiver coming out of the backfield, and he's got that special thing all great backs have, vision to see potential tacklers, and then it's like the Roadrunner, baby. Beep, beep, he's gone. The question for Clemson, how will Rob Spence, the offensive coordinator, utilize these two backs in creative ways on the field together this year?
All right, Todd, since the 1940s, with very few interruptions, the Tigers have gathered at the top of this hill to reach the field. They come on buses from the locker room, unload as the crowd goes crazy, and then start down. They added the tradition of rubbing Howard's Rock in the late 60s, a stone brought by a booster from Death Valley, California to Death Valley, South Carolina. Hall of Fame coach Frank Howard eventually tired of having it in his office and told a school official to get rid of it. Perhaps valuing the stone more than Howard, he had it placed on the hill. The coach liked it so much he told his players they could rub his rock, but only if they gave their all. Otherwise, he said, keep your filthy hands off of it. Clemson Tigers have won 3 of the last 4 in this series. Kickoff is next.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by ESPN Game Plan. See the most college football every Saturday. To order, call your pay-per-view provider. ESPN Game Plan lives here.
There's a place where anything goes, and the party never dies. And the party never dies. Never dies. Never dies. I'm gonna put an end to this. Sorry about this.
Resident Evil Extinction, rated R, in theaters September 21st.
Final boarding roll, flight 304.
Don't stop, rock your body. I know you wanna. Let's go, don't stop, rock your body. I know you wanna, yeah.
New, smooth, long-lasting Extra Supermint. Long-lasting.
Welcome back to ESPN's Back on Campus Weekend, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods.
Welcome back to Death Valley. Clemson for Florida State and Clemson. Let's go to the sideline in Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, as has been reported earlier today, a building on campus was searched by local and university police after they received an emailed bomb threat. As far as we are told right now, there has not been a threat to the stadium, but they have increased security here. The coaches know about the situation. Coach Tommy Bowden said he has not told his players because there's no new information right now. I spoke with people here in the crowd and asked them if it had any bearing on their decision to attend the game tonight. They said, oh no, the only thing that they are worried about tonight is how this Clemson football team will be on the field.
Holly, you don't see any worry in this stadium. 83,000 seats. I don't think there's one available, do you?
I don't think so. And they don't have any seats painted orange here, so.
No. It is a beautiful evening for what promises to be a great football game. Florida State is ranked in the top 20. Clemson is not ranked coming into this game. And Florida State is wearing all white uniforms for the first time since 1988. And here is the story on the kickoff rule change. Last year in the ACC, 2/3 of the kickoffs were returned. After one weekend in the ACC, 92% were returned. The change, moving the kickoff tee back from the 35 to the 30. Florida State will receive Mark Buckholz. The last time he kicked the football in a game was in high school. He is a 4-year starter on the soccer team. Michael Ray Garvin and Preston Parker are deep to receive for the Seminoles, both with great speed. Garvin across the 20 to the 22. Here's Bobby Bowden to tell us about his Florida State offense.
We'll start Drew Weatherford at quarterback. This will be his 3rd year to start. I really think he's ready to produce this year. Tailback, Anton Smith. If there's any guy on a football team we can't afford to lose, is Anton, because it's too big of a drop-off behind him. I think he's capable of getting 1,000 if he stay healthy this year. And, of course, the key, the offensive line. You know, we're going to start two freshmen on the offensive line and 2 seniors and a sophomore. And that will be the key, because you can't do anything if you can't block.
Weatherford play fake. Can't find anybody, tucks it. Weatherford, 43-yard line before he goes down. Nick Watkins made the tackle. Here's Tommy Bowden to tell us about his defense.
Starting for the Tigers tonight on defense will be Philip Merlin at defensive end, Rashad Jackson, Darrell Scott, and Ricky Sapp, who says he's better than Gaines Adams. We'll find out tonight. Two seniors in the linebacker positions, Tremaine Billy and Nick Watkins, and two veteran safeties in Michael Hamlin and Chris Clemson.
Florida State will go with 3 wide receivers as Preston Parker comes in. Weatherford to the shotgun. Anton Smith trying to get outside, didn't have a chance, and it's Ricky Sapp, and there is his first confirmation for his coach that he can play the spot Gaines Adams did.
Well, he's a highly skilled guy now. He's upped his weight from 220 to 240. And he made a big play there behind the line of scrimmage. And Florida State needs to be able to have some success running the football. I mean, if you want to have a balanced offense, which Jimbo Fisher wants to, that means you got to run it and throw it. In the last 2 years, they have been downright anemic trying to run the football. And that is an order of priority for Jimbo and the new line coach, Rick Trickett, who came over from West Virginia.
And an awful lot of young players up front, including Rodney Hudson, who is playing in the second college football game he's ever seen. And there looks like a delay penalty against the Seminoles. That's Chuck Amato, the former NC State coach, talking to Bobby Bowden. Did they get the timeout?
Timeout on the field.
They did.
There's a timeout on the field. Florida State.
It's a tough way to burn one this early. Less than a minute and a half into this game. Nothing at Clemson.
Lee introduces the new Relaxed Fit collection. The most comfortable jeans you'll ever wear. They feel so good, we guarantee your satisfaction 100%. Find your favorite fit. Lee.
Hey, what's wrong? Joe's athlete's foot. It's brutal.
Ah, show him the new stuff. It's new Lamisil Gel Advanced. Cures athlete's foot with half the treatments.
Half the treatments?
Half the treatments, all the cure.
They're coming. Sure as God's vengeance, they're coming.
310 to Yuma is a masterpiece full of rip-roaring action. Christian Bale and Russell Crowe are unbelievable. 310 to Yuma. Rated R. In theaters everywhere Friday.
Honey, hey, listen, I'm out here with the guys, and they're really pushing me hard to come back and play another season in New York.
What do you think?
Are you kidding?
Just say no. Just say the word no, and I'll stay retired. Just say no, and, you know, I won't do it. Okay, great then. Guys, I'm back. She's so happy, she's speechless.
The network you can trust, AT&T. Buy any phone and get up to 4 free.
Jumbo popcorn chicken, man.
I know, and with a little Chipotle dipping sauce.
Yeah.
And there's always this. Ready?
I'm so bad at that, man.
Oh, it's easy. It's easy. It's all in the top.
Yeah.
That was a little errant. Just
I go through more chicken that way.
You know what? Why don't you just eat it instead of blatantly throwing them in my face?
Yeah. Jumbo popcorn chicken. Now at Sonic. Portable all-white meat chicken with our new creamy Chipotle sauce or any of our other great sauces. Pay the Sonic way. Swipe your credit or My Sonic card from your car.
Yesterday is history. Today is what matters.
Start today with the world's most comfortable shave. Gillette Fusion Power. Turn it on. Soothing micropulses help you reduce friction. You'll barely feel the blades. The best a man can get.
What a nightmare. Without silent armor tires, getting home could be a real pain.
That's why I became a blimp pilot, to avoid all that stuff. Not the main reason, but definitely my top 10.
Goodyear Silent Armor Technology, featuring a layer made with Kevlar, a material that's pound for pound 5 times stronger than steel for toughness, and a comfort zone for a smooth, quiet ride.
Number 4, employee cafeteria. Number 3, the ladies love the uniform.
Oh, yeah.
Innovative thinking up here so you can get there. Goodyear, get there.
College Football Primetime is available on ESPN HD, presented by Pioneer Kuro HD TV. Florida State back on the field after saving 5 yards with that timeout. They still face 2nd and 15. 4 wide receivers, including 6'6" Greg Carr, who is a touchdown machine.
One of the emphasis for Clemson's DBs for about 10 days straight. 5 minutes of deep ball practice against these tall wide receivers.
Blitz coming. Weatherford rolls away from pressure. and taken out of bounds, the 39-yard line, chased down by the middle linebacker, Courtney Vincent.
You know, Mike, you mentioned how young this Florida State offensive line is. Really, the center and the left side, extremely young. The center, Ryan McMahon, number 60, is a redshirt freshman, was a defensive lineman until last spring. And then you've got Rodney Hudson, the left guard, next to him. He's a true freshman from Mobile, Alabama, number 62. And next to him, Deron Rose, number 76. He's a sophomore, but he only played 18 snaps a year ago. That's a tough assignment in a place like this.
And against a pretty good defensive wall. Pressure coming. They try to throw the middle screen. It's incomplete. You're supposed to let him through on the screen, but I don't think quite that much.
No, you want to let those guys get upfield, but not that quick. Again, these young guys on the left side. Deron Rose went for the cut block, didn't get enough of the defensive end. And then Rashad Jackson also in there on the pressure.
Jackson had a tremendous camp this year. Gary Sismazia and Graham Gano, the veteran kickers. Gano will punt it away. He's out of Pensacola. Unbelievable speed back. Jacoby Ford, number 6. C.J. Spiller, 28. Smart play. They kick it to the sideline. They want to keep it away from them. Here's Tommy Bowden to tell us about his Clemson offense.
Starting tonight for the Clemson Tigers on offense will be Cullen Harper at quarterback. In the backfield, James Davis and C.J. Spiller, who Todd has labeled Thunder and Lightning. I call Pete and Repeat. Left tackle will be Barry Richardson, preseason All-American. At 6'6", 345, Barry has not missed very many meals. Left guard, Chris McDuffie, Barry Humphries at center, Thomas Austin right guard, Chris Capote at right tackle.
So Cullen Harper is a new quarterback, but he's not new to this system. He's a redshirt junior. He's had 2.5 years in this system, but practicing, watching film, a little different than playing against the Seminoles.
He has already earned the respect of his teammates by the tremendous work ethic he showed. There's a flag down. It looked like the Seminoles jumped offside. Spiller catches the little swing, which he says is his favorite pass pattern because it gets him out in space. And it will be a free 5 yards for Clemson. Ron Cherry, our referee tonight.
Offside. Defense, number 96. It's a 5-yard penalty. Let's get first down.
When you play Florida State, you know their defensive line is going to try to get upfield. They're going to try to penetrate the line of scrimmage. Good use of the snap count on first down by Cullen Harper to draw the easy 5 yards. Here we go. The first time quarterback is out here. That's Harper. That's Davis getting the direct snap from the quarterback. From the center, rather. Something more and more teams have tried to do. Spiller comes in motion. They fake it to him. Davis goes straight up the middle to the 47-yard line. A little option offense. This is like when you choose up sides in your backyard. The best guy gets the ball. Well, you fake the outside run to the speedster. Watch the fake to Spiller outside, and then James Davis is just going to run the inside zone. He's going to cut that inside and do what he does best. Get his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage and use that power. You need your wide receivers to block to get the running game going. Kendrick Taylor threw a good one that time. Spiller, nothing. Here's Bobby Bowden to tell us about his Seminole defense.
The strength of our defense, I think, is the defensive tackles. Fluellen, Thacker again in there at defensive tackle. Linebackers are questionable because of injuries. I mean, they're playing coming off of knee operations. Geno Hayes can probably play with anybody if he can stay healthy. Secondary, we're veterans back there. Corners, 2-year starters. Myron Rowlett, safety, is an all-star. Roger Williams, a 3-year starter.
3 wide receivers to the near side, and Cullen Harper goes to the shotgun. Spiller again. They're trying to be ready for him. Roger Williams came up, the sure-handed, normally tackling safety, and he missed him.
Yeah, he missed him, and they know that Clemson likes to do a lot of things to offset that pressure at the line of scrimmage. They throw a lot of wide receiver screens, bubble screens, and for Cullen Harper, he just wanted to get a couple quick completions, get his confidence up, get a feel for the game, the speed of the game, And I'd say he probably has that right now. Has his team out to the 50-yard line.
No Clemson quarterback has ever beaten a top 20 team in his first start. That's his challenge tonight. Three-man rush. And Harper will get out of bounds, takes a shot at the sideline, and boy, it looked like he was out of bounds. And right in front of the Clemson bench, the coaching staff going nuts as Geno Hayes got him.
I like the call by Mickey Andrews on third down. The first time he faces this young quarterback on a third down, here's Harper, had to scramble. I think that's a good no call. I mean, it was not a vicious hit. He left from infield to play. There was one on the other side earlier in the game they didn't call, but Mickey Andrews, first third down against this new quarterback, instead of bringing pressure, three-man rush, drop 8, make him read a defense, and he had to tuck it and run and come up short.
And our hearts go out to Mickey and his family. They lost their son Ronnie, 41 years old, in August. Mainers is on to punt. Parker waits at his 15-yard line. Line drive kick. Parker finally decides to let it go. The ball kicks into the end zone. 52-yard punt and no return. So the ball will come out to the 20-yard line. We've got a timeout on the field. 11:07 to go, first quarter, scoreless from Clemson.
Good morning, NFL fans. It's Dick's Sporting Goods Fan Friday. So suit up with authentic Reebok NFL apparel and show your true colors. Every Friday this season, be prepared for fierce rivalries. Use every drive, every bump and run to go the distance. Wear your team out with authentic Reebok NFL apparel. Dick's Sporting Goods Fan Fridays.
With 2 million vehicle listings to choose from on Cars.com, you can find the right car for you.
Blue is?
Find the right car for you. Cars.com.
Gush, sink, trip, train, draft and drink. Innovative, draft can, Heineken.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. And Nike Zoom. Visit Nike.com to learn how quick is deadly.
Welcome back to Clemson Memorial Stadium. 83,000 strong. Have seen both teams with the ball once. Florida State takes over again, this time from their own 20. Weatherford will go to the shotgun. Smith, the running back. He'll get the carry. Swallowed up. Didn't have a chance. Rashad Jackson, who lost about 15 pounds from a year ago, burst through and swallowed it. Last year, Florida State hit about rock bottom for them. 6 losses, the most since Bobby Bowden's first at FSU. They were whitewashed at home by Wake Forest. They were 103rd in the country in rushing, very unlike Florida State, and they only had a winning record because they beat UCLA in the Emerald Bowl. They have a lot they feel to make up for. Smith, 2 carries, minus 9 yards. Gets it again, got most of that 9 back, but he's up to the 23-yard line. Of course, when Jeff Bowden resigned, and that had been a point of contention, he being the offensive coordinator and the son of the head coach, that started an avalanche of coaching changes. Jimbo Fisher, who had had 5 players drafted at quarterback in 7 years at LSU. Rick Trickett, who could have just about named his job in college football as the offensive line coach, moved from West Virginia, and those are our Dick's Sporting Goods changes.
There's Jimbo right there in the middle, up in the box. We talked about this earlier. I think eventually this blend of new coaches and some experienced guys, a guy like Dexter Carter's never coached before, but he was a great player, a first-round draft pick from Florida State who can identify with these players.
Right.
And these players can look up to and immediately respect. I think eventually these changes are going to pay huge dividends. It's just a matter of how quickly can they get to where they want to be.
They were very dissatisfied with the state of the offensive line, the physical conditioning, and the toughness of Florida State players when they got here. And Rick Trickett said when he met his offensive line the first day, Jenny Craig is coming to town.
Well, he did, because he worked these guys hard. He's an ex-Marine, and they lost collectively maybe over 200 pounds. I mean, he really worked them, and they're a much better-looking offensive line, quicker and more athletic, and he thinks they'll be in better shape for the fourth quarter.
Weatherford on 3rd and 7, rolling away from pressure. Boy, that was a pretty good throw, and Carr couldn't hold it.
Pretty good throw by a quarterback knowing he's going to get drilled, because Courtney Vincent, number 45, was the guy pressuring Drew Weatherford. And Drew Weatherford hung in there, got his shoulders square, rolling to his left, and delivered a perfect throw, knowing he was going to get hit. And that's one his receiver needs to come down with. Quarterback takes a shot like that and puts it on the money. Greg Carr, with those long arms, has to pull that one in.
Carr, known more as a deep threat that time, ran a sideline pattern. Ford and Spiller, as they used 2 deep. Both of these guys track champions. Ford back to the 45. Here's what Bobby Bowden had to say about shaking up that coaching staff during this offseason.
I've coached 55 years and never had to change a staff. You know, I've occasionally lost a coach, but to lose 5 of them like we did, I really hated it, but I felt like, gee, I'm working for Florida State University. They expect me to do this, they expect me to do that, and I owe it to them to do what I feel is the best for our football program.
You know, you talk about the offensive changes, but Chuck Amato back on the defensive side, a big bonus for Bobby Bowden as well.
Fake to Spiller. And picking up a couple, Cullen Harper.
Chuck Amato was a longtime assistant and really is now the executive head coach for Bobby Bowden. Takes care of a lot of the day-to-day operational things in the office, allows Bobby to just focus on the things he needs to focus on. He's also kind of the disciplinarian for the Florida State football team. And him back, I think Bobby, just a comfort level for Bobby Bowden, and a comfort level for Mickey Andrews as well, the defensive coordinator.
Florida State jumps again.
Here comes a call from the line of scrimmage. Get them to show their hand and then look to the line for a change of play.
Harper, short set, pump fake, and out of bounds. Wouldn't have counted. Kendrick Taylor actually ran out of bounds. He would not have been allowed to have made that catch.
Well, the pump fake got what Cullen Harper wanted. He got the cornerback to bite. Watch Michael Ray Garvin bite on the quick throw. And so he has a shot in there before the safety can come over, but just not able to make the connection.
Taylor has to be more aware of where that sideline is. 3rd and 9. You notice the graphic on Chuck Amato, executive head coach. They had to dream that one up. They've already used assistant head coach and associate head coach as well as head coach. What's next? 3rd and 9. Pressure coming on Harper, too high. Intended over the middle for Jacoby Ford, but he was bracketed.
Flag down as well. I mean, both these teams have very solid defensive fronts. Cullen Harper not able to get this ball, get his feet set the way he wanted to because of Andre Fluellen getting pressure.
It's going to be offensive interference. or 4th and 9. So I would assume Florida State will turn this down, although we'll see.
Right now, I think field position is a critical aspect of this game, because I don't think either offense is going to have a whole lot of success against these defensive football teams. And so the punting game, punt protection, flipping the field and field position, very, very important for both these teams. And the last time that Manners was on to punt, I thought he took a long time. Florida State was very close to blocking that punt. I think that's going to be a big issue here.
Number 6 on the offense. The penalty is refused. 4th down.
So far, Clemson has certainly had the big advantage in field position. Hasn't been able to do anything with it as yet.
No, but you keep the pressure on. You know, you keep punting them down there, and you make Drew Weatherford come out with all those students behind him and try to execute this offense with a young offensive line. If you have the advantage in field position, even if you don't have a lead on the scoreboard, try to keep that advantage, keep that other team pinned down. Make them go the long field.
Mainers to kick to Parker, who only had 1 kick return a year ago, replacing Chris Davis. Little pooch kick, and nice job. Got it out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Next week, Monday Night Football returns to ESPN and kicks off with a doubleheader. First at 7 Eastern. It's the Ravens against the Bengals. Then at 10:15, the Cardinals meet the 49ers. Don't miss the return of Monday Night Football on ESPN next Monday night. I think there ought to be more of that. My old buddy Paul McGuire always says he doesn't understand people that don't kick the ball out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Seems to make an awful lot of sense to me.
Absolutely. I mean, you're still talking about going 86 yards for a score. And that's the advantage you want to keep, because that puts pressure on an offense. It puts pressure on a quarterback. It puts pressure on a play caller, an offensive coordinator, when you're at the short field.
Weatherford throws to his fullback coming out of the backfield, Marcus Sims, but he can't keep his feet. Let's go to Reese for a SportsCenter 30 at 30. Reese?
All right, Mike, couple of baseball pitching notes. Pedro Martinez is back for the Mets. He went 5 innings through 76 pitches, hit the radar gun at 90. Got his 3,000th career strikeout in the process and got the win against Cincinnati today. He's coming back from a rotator cuff problem. Meanwhile, Ichiro went yard against Roger Clemens. That was his 200th hit, or got his 200th hit. Clemens, meanwhile, is going to have an MRI on his elbow after suffering pain. Much more on these stories. SportsCenter after the game. Stay current with ESPN News.
Thank you, Reese. 2nd and 10. Weatherford straight back. Out in the flat again, intended for Sims, the fullback, and too high. Byron Maxwell was out in the coverage. Weatherford is a guy whose first couple years have been a disappointment.
Well, somewhat. I mean, he's still thrown for over 5,300 yards and has done a lot of good things, but just inconsistent, as a lot of young quarterbacks are. Now, he clearly earned the job in a long battle with Xavier Lee this offseason, and this summer, he's the guy that Jimbo wants to go. And Bobby Bowden says, you know, he's finally now a redshirt junior. This is when we're used to having a guy become our starting quarterback.
That was Xavier on the sideline. Maybe a better athlete, maybe not a better quarterback. He's chased down from behind and tackled. DeAndre McDaniel, the strong safety, made the tackle. Clemson with almost all second-unit people in there.
See, that's what I mean, how it puts pressure on a play caller. Because at 3rd down, you go with a very conservative run call because you're backed up so far. That's why field position is so important. If you're out at midfield, you're more likely to let Drew Weatherford try to make a throw and try to pick up the 1st down on that play.
The last 9 plays, the Seminoles have totaled 3 net yards. There's Jacoby Ford at the 38. Mupka got it back at the 42. 43-yard kick and no return, although Ford had a real good shot, had a lot of green in front of him. Clemson was known for getting off to slow starts and then coming on with a rush. Last year, they started 7-1, were ranked as high as 10th. Davis and Spiller racked up over 2,000 yards rushing, but they lost 4 of the last 5, including their bowl game, because people decided the running game was not going to beat them anymore, and they couldn't throw it.
Well, the turning point for Clemson's season came on a Thursday night in Blacksburg, Virginia. Virginia Tech beat them 24-7, and as Tommy Bowden said, they broke the code on how to stop our offense.
Fake to Davis, end around to Jacoby Ford. Ford off to the races. To the 25-yard line. Gino Hayes made the tackle. The ACC indoor 60-meter champ. A little room to run on the outside, a gain of 34.
Well, Jacoby Ford had a 38-yard run last year in this game. Here he is. He's going to come on the reverse. He's got the great speed. Sets up his block by Aaron Kelly. Number 80 does a great job of getting in the way of the defender, and then that speed takes over.
Big play for Clemson. 1st and 10 at the 23. Inside the 15. Gain of about 9 for Spiller. Davis threw him a block.
What you're going to see when these two backs are on the field at the same time, you'll see Davis blocking for Spiller more so than Spiller blocking for Davis. There's a block by Davis, a beautiful roll block, and Spiller with that speed to the outside. You mentioned Spiller and Jacoby Ford, sprint champions, both from, guess where, the state of Florida, playing against their home state team, the Florida State Seminoles.
Toss outside, Davis. And speaking of the state of Florida, there were rumors going around that C.J. Spiller would leave Clemson at the end of last year because he was dissatisfied with the way the season ended and splitting time. And he's from Florida, as Todd mentioned. He said his bags were packed. He was ready to go. But talking to Tommy Bowden, he convinced him that staying was in his best interest, and they are delighted to have him back.
He convinced him that he had almost 1,000 yards last year and has already established himself as a freshman as a great player here.
Pretty good argument. Harper under pressure, rolling, throws for the end zone. Touchdown! Caught by the tight end Brian Lincecum. Boy, Cullen Harper has to be about the happiest guy in the state of South Carolina right now.
A beautiful play by Cullen Harper and a beautiful play by Lincecum. Both of them excellent individual efforts on that touchdown.
Lincecum, an import from Farmington, New Mexico. A freshman, 6'4", 235. Buckholz, the point after. And the Clemson Tigers have taken the lead at home. 7-0 on Cullen Harper's first touchdown pass.
Tommy.
Marco?
Looking good.
I thank you.
Love the jacket.
Do you?
Yes.
$90.
What?
Ooh, nice shoe.
$50.
I'm proud of you.
Love the hair.
Oh, yeah, my cousin does it. $20.
Very nice.
Nice tie.
Thanks for thinking my tie's nice.
What'd you spend on that?
$12.
Double cheeseburger, $1.
McDonald's melty, beefy double cheeseburger.
I'll give you $2.
3.
What, are you made of money?
Just one of the extravagant choices on the dollar menu. Are you a dollar millionaire?
Good job. Thanks, mister. Hey, guys, we probably should head over. Yeah, you're probably right. We gotta get Coach, though. Hey, Coach! Let's go, man. We gotta roll. Lee!
I guess we'll meet him over there.
Yeah.
Do you know game day? Go to collegegameday.com to find out. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot, Saturdays at 10 a.m.
Agent 24/7. Come.
New Prudential real estate signs.
Very powerful. We've really done it now. With this, you can show your home sellers how many buyers are looking in their neighborhood, in their price range.
Even viewing their home online.
With updates emailed every day until it sells. The future of real estate is in your hands.
Prudential Real Estate. The future of real estate. Now.
I had back surgery in '97, but I was still having problems.
I had arthritis in the lower back.
I tried everything. Drugs, epidurals.
It was excruciating. I couldn't pick up my cat, Emily.
Then my doctor recommended dynamic rehabilitation.
My doctor referred me to Dynamic.
They're wonderful. There's a wonderful staff, wonderful doctors. I feel great. I feel better than I ever have.
When the pain stopped, I knew I made the right choice.
All physical therapy is not created equal. Demand the best. Dynamic. 1-888-DYNAMIC.
Clemson breaks on top here at home, 7-0 over Florida State. Our aerial coverage for tonight's game, courtesy of the Outback Steakhouse. The Outback Steakhouse aerial fleet specializes in sports coverage. Look for Outback Steakhouse's continued coverage of sporting events throughout the year. 83,000 saw Brian Linthicum get his first career touchdown catch. Down to the 3-yard line, Michael Ray Garvin. Nowhere to go.
Let's go back to the touchdown, and I want you to watch two things. Number one, watch as Cullen Harper comes out here. Watch him elude the pressure of Nefi Moffitt, and then when Linthicum goes to the end zone, watch him use his body to shield the defender, Roger Williams, almost like boxing out for a rebound and catching the pass. Watch. Excellent job by Harper eluding the pressure, and then Linthicum uses that big body to shield the safety and make the catch for a touchdown. Not bad for a guy who was playing high school football last fall.
Nice little telestrator you got this year. Pretty arrows, all sorts of little
bells and whistles on this thing.
Florida State, their best start so far, the 21. They've been pinned. Here's the flag, and they're going to blow this play dead as they try to the reverse to Preston Parker.
Prior to the snap, false start, 45,
You know, one thing, as we see Florida State struggle a little bit offensively, and you take a look at what their numbers, 3 drives, only 26 total yards. The thing to keep in mind, though, this Clemson defense under Vic Koenning is pretty doggone good. For the last 2 years in a row, they've ranked in the top 25 of all 4 of the major defensive categories. That's the first time Clemson has done that since 1990 and 91. I mean, this is a very experienced defense with some real playmakers on it.
Trying to rotate a lot of guys in and out of that defensive line on a hot night. And it's worked for them so far. Weatherford under pressure, throws the middle screen, and that's the fullback Marcus Sims. Let's go to Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, we talked to Coach Bobby Bowden yesterday about all these new offenses, everything that's so exciting for them right now. He said, you know, I talked to Jimbo Fisher, and I said, what are we going to do if they do this? And he said, oh, well, we'll just do this. He said, I feel very comfortable with Jimbo's knowledge, how he's got things set up. What I don't feel comfortable with at this point is how much of this do our boys really grasp? You know, a coordinator who's a coach for a lifetime, he gets it, but how much do these young guys get it? It's very different trying to implement things in a meeting room or talking to your coach or here in Death Valley, guys. That's a big question mark for Florida State right now.
And Holly, that's what people have to remember. These are basically the same players that went 7-6 a year ago. Ball's loose. Did it come out late? It did not. Clemson has it. Parker with the fumble.
Preston Parker is a potential playmaker for this Florida State offense. We saw the reverse to Jacoby Ford for Clemson. Here's a reverse to Preston Parker, who is trying to fight for extra yardage. Watch Parker try to fight for extra yardage as Hamlin wraps him up. He's fighting, he's churning, he's keep working, and then Philip Merling is going to rip the football out. And it is out before he touches the ground.
I think off the bottom of the pile, Nick Watkins, number 32, was the guy who ended up with it. And Parker with the turnover. And Clemson sets up shop at the Florida State 24. Well, I know how you quarterbacks think. You want to go for the end zone right now, don't you?
I don't know if these two backs want to let them run to the end zone.
Not a bad thought either.
Thing I like right now, though, is I love how Rob Spence is doing so many different things. Formation-wise, the use of Spillers and Davis, taking pressure off his new quarterback, Cullen Harper. And the other thing about Clemson, this was a team last year that had 4 senior offensive linemen, redshirt seniors. And the only returning starter is Barry Richardson, the left tackle up there. So a new offensive line for Clemson as well.
He's an Outland Trophy candidate. He's a great player, but inexperience all around him. Davis shakes it, tackle, cuts back to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown Davis. What a run. Talk about a guy who would not be denied.
When you have speed like Spillers and Jacoby Ford, you have to respect that fake of the reverse, and they're doing a great job of mixing that in. James Davis faked the reverse and showed great balance in getting it to the end zone.
Buckholz for the point after. Clemson has scored 2 touchdowns in a minute 14. They're on their feet at Frank Howard Field at Clemson Memorial Stadium. 14-0 Tigers.
We are Florida State University. The unconquered, in the classroom, in the game, in life.
Nothing but smiles on the Clemson sideline. 2 touchdowns in a minute 14 will do that for you. And they're on top of 19th ranked Florida State, 14-0. That was a great run by James Davis.
Absolutely was. And a great block. I think it was Brian Linthicum, the tight end who caught the touchdown pass, actually blocked 2 guys to spring Davis, and then it was outstanding individual effort by Davis the rest of the way.
Buckholz to kick. Garvin and Parker are deep again, and Parker would like to redeem himself. Garvin will get it instead, 2 yards deep, and bring it out. Boy, that Tiger kickoff coverage unit has been sensational. They were so poor a year ago.
It's Michael Parker, 86, who gets the block on Marcus Baldwin. Watch the balance. Breaking tackles. James Davis broke 3 tackles and made 3 more guys miss. Spun them around like ballerinas on this touchdown run. We talked about C.J. Spiller having the vision. James Davis got pretty good eyes, too.
Yes, he does.
He saw those white shirts.
Boy, there has been no room for Anton Smith to run Courtney Vincent in his grill before he could turn.
And this is how we're used to seeing Florida State play defense, penetrating the line of scrimmage, getting hits in the backfield. But it's Clemson who is beating Florida State tremendously at the line of scrimmage and making plays behind the line of scrimmage. I think that's the 3rd or 4th tackle behind the line of scrimmage. 3rd that Clemson has had on running plays, not quarterback sacks,
right? Running plays. And Smith has had 4 carries for -5 yards. Bobby Bowden said this is a guy who will get over 1,000 yards if he can stay healthy and if the offensive line can block a little bit for him. But right now, he's 1,005 away from 1,000. Weatherford, nice move to get free. And then he's mugged at the 19.
You watch these Florida State guys. These offensive linemen are looking at each other. They've got their hands on their hips. They're wondering what in the world is going on. It didn't work like this in practice. We were much better, it seemed, in practice. But right now, Drew Weatherford, the most experienced guy in there, he's got to get these guys together. He's got to pull them together, calm them down, and say, look, we got a lot of football left to play. Let's figure out some ways to make a couple plays.
This is his third year as a starter. Wherever Trickett has gone, his offensive line has been sensational, especially in the running game. Weatherford just can't seem to find anybody. Open throws this one to the sideline, and Carr makes the catch.
But there is a flag down that came down right at the snap.
Would be a gain of 20, but they're walking back toward the line of scrimmage. Ouch.
Ouch, right.
Finally get a positive play. And a big one, really, on 3rd and 13.
On the play. 5 men on the offensive line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. We'll replay the down.
Usually you get called for only having 6 on the line of scrimmage. They only had 5 that time. So, again, new coach, new system, new formations, new play calls, new offensive linemen. That adds up to some mistakes in a hostile environment like Death Valley here.
Well, you wonder how many times Bobby Bowden has said dadgummit throughout his career. I think he had a dadgummit on this series.
And here's the field position in Clemson's favor again. How dangerous does Jimbo Fisher go on this 3rd and long?
3rd and 18, 3-man rush. Weatherford to Smith on the screen. Nothing doing. What a terrific play by Clemson. Nick Watkins, the linebacker from the weak side, smelled out the screen and was right there.
Nick Watkins was the leading tackler on this team a year ago, 116 tackles. Vic Koenig said he's our best linebacker, the most experienced guy. He understands the position, and he should be our leading tackler again this year.
He's on the Butkus list this year as potentially the best linebacker in the country.
I like this 2-man punt return for Clemson, too, having these 2 speedsters back here together. A lot of pressure.
4 straight 3-and-outs. Gano. A beauty for Spiller back at the 37. Spiller got a block, comes down the sideline to the 47. Saturday night, ESPN offers up 2 great college football matchups. First at 6 Eastern, Notre Dame goes to Happy Valley to face Penn State, the 25th anniversary of Todd Blackledge's national championship team. Then at 9:15, 2 top 10 teams, Virginia Tech against LSU. College football primetime presented by Hampton, Saturday night on ESPN.
Look at the field position again for Clemson. On that punt return, Byron Maxwell, a backup cornerback, got an excellent block, allowing Spiller to get it across the 50. Rob Spence, very easy to call plays when you're on the other team's 45 to start.
Clemson has lived on this side of the field in the first half. And Harper throws this one behind Jacoby Ford. The timing on that one was never very good.
Well, it was good defense by Florida State because they went for a deep one, tried to get a touchdown, and it was double covered. Florida State was not fooled on that play. But look at that average starting field position. Clemson on the opponent's 48 just makes for much more aggressive play calling. That's what you saw right there. A very aggressive play call by Rob Spence on 1st down. But well defended by Florida State.
And what tremendous pressure it puts on that Seminole defense.
Yep.
2nd and 10.
Here we go. Here comes another situation. Snap. This is Spiller taking the direct snap now.
Davis moves back with him, and now Spiller will run the option and hand it off to Davis. Spiller was a quarterback back in the 8th grade, but we don't expect him to throw much. Maybe on a halfback option pass. They may pull out the whole thing tonight.
Well, Rob Spence did a lot of studying. He watched a lot of different people, one of them being Arkansas and their use of Darren McFadden and Felix Jones. The only difference is he wants to throw the football a little bit better than Arkansas did last year. But we're going to see a little bit of everything. We've seen both those guys now in the quarterback position taking that direct snap.
Harper is an eligible receiver because he does line up in the backfield and not under center. Harper now can't find anybody, runs, now throws down the sideline and incomplete. Well, there was a lot of contact there by J.R. Bryant using a little arm bar at the sideline.
Another job by Mickey Andrews calling for a three-man rush zone defense on 3rd and 9 and forcing the new quarterback to not just worry about pressure, but how do you read 8 defenders? How do you find openings against 8 defenders? A good call on 3rd down to force the Clemson punt.
One of the longtime stalwarts in college football.
He was a defensive coordinator here from 1977 to 80 under Danny Ford.
Mainers to kick to Parker, who waits back at his 10. So great field position for Clemson, and they can't do anything with it this time. Little pooch kick, this one well off the side of his foot, and the official's going to mark it well outside the 20-yard line, all the way up to the 28. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, I was just listening into the huddle where offensive line coach for Florida State, Rick Trickett, was talking with his offensive linemen. Clearly, they're struggling today, and he is one to scream and yell, but today he is very different in his demeanor. Guys, he is the patient teacher right now. There's a lot of communication going on. He's drawing things up on the whiteboard. More importantly, he's asking them, what do you see out there? What's happening? Guys, I've never seen him so calm, very patient, like a teacher would be with a young child right now, guys. It's very impressive how he's dealing with this offensive line.
Well, that's smart, Holly. He has to do that because that's what they need out of him right now. They're confused. They're flustered.
Weatherford out in the flat to Smith. Eludes one tackler, dives across the 30.
I mean, Rick Trickett, there's no mistake. The ex-Marine is a fiery guy. You watch him on the practice field. He's tossing his hat around, hitting guys with his hat. He's right up in their grill all the time. He was like that every day in the summer, grinding on his guys. But right now, they need a calming influence. They need a calm, fatherly type voice to try to right the ship here offensively.
And that's what coaching is, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Weatherford, good protection, but has it batted down. There just doesn't seem to be any spark in Florida State right now. It all looks so matter-of-fact the way they're running their offense.
But I think all the spark is wearing orange right now. Yeah. Because this Clemson defense is good. They are flying around, penetrating the line of scrimmage, staying in their rush lanes, their coverage lanes. It's a very sound and yet talented Clemson defense. And they have the upper hand right now, no question about it.
Antoine Murchison got the credit for that last pass block, and it's 3rd and long again for Weatherford. He goes to the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. Here comes pressure, and he's got to throw it away.
No time to throw. Philip Merling is the guy who got in on the quarterback, number 94. Watch the pressure. They did bring a rush, but it was still a 4-man rush. I'm sorry, Kevin Alexander, number 24, came on the inside stunt unblocked. It wasn't an all-out blitz. It was only a 4-man rush, but a little confusion, again, for the Florida State offensive line.
He's a sophomore from Rayford, Florida. And now Ford and Spiller will go back again, and it looks like there could be great field position once more for Clemson. And this punt will take a Tiger bounce down to the 40. 29-yard kick, but here are the Tigers with great field position again.
And we talked about last season for Clemson and when things went wrong against Virginia Tech. And we talked about how the Hokies broke the code of this Clemson offense. What they did was they realized if we put enough guys up there and can stop Spillers and Davis and force Will Proctor, the quarterback last year, to make intermediate throws, we're not sure he can do it. And for the rest of the year, Clemson offense struggled. And Tommy said, when we were winning games early and scoring a lot of points, we should have worked more on our passing game. That was the mistake they made last year.
Davis up the middle, gets about 4. And that will do it for the first quarter. And it has been all Clemson Tigers. They have won the battle of field position, and they've won the battle on the scoreboard as well. They are up 14-0 at home against the Seminoles of Florida State.
ESPN College Football Primetime, Notre Dame versus Penn State, Saturday at 6 on ESPN.
Yesterday is history. Today is what matters.
Start today with the world's most comfortable shave. Gillette Fusion Power. Turn it on. Soothing micropulses help you reduce friction. You'll barely feel the blades.
The best a man can get.
Comfortable in jeans that are tough. I'm comfortable in Wrangler.
Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Satisfaction guaranteed. Wrangler. Real, comfortable jeans.
My name is Reginald. I'm a teacher. I'm a military man. I'm a do-it-yourselfer. Very much so a do-it-yourselfer. A trip to the Home Depot is probably a weekly thing. I'll go just to run into an associate and ask him a question. When I finished this project, I felt like I could do anything, actually. My dream is to restore a historical house. Anything's possible. If you think you can do it, it can be done. It can be done.
For a girl like her, falling for a guy can be a little dangerous. On September 21st,
Not now.
get ready for a shocking good time. Good luck, Shock. Rated R. September 21st.
Thought you said we'd see something big.
Introducing Monster Shrimp from Long John Silver's, our biggest shrimp ever, in a combo with fish, pups, fries, and a drink for $3.99. Only at Long John Silver's.
You know what always surprises my customers? That the key to a beautiful paint job isn't just the paint. It's this, Zinsser Primer. Zinsser Primers hide dark colors, block stains, and seal the surface to give you a more even color and sheen. No peeling, cracking, or blistering. And one coat of Zinsser Primer along with one coat of paint will look better and last longer than 2 coats of paint. Choose the primer professionals prefer 2 to 1 over any other brand. If you want to paint like a pro, prime like a pro, use Zinsser first.
Introducing the all-new Helio Fin. It's the thinnest folder with a 3-megapixel camera. You can capture the action and instantly send your pictures to Flickr and your movies to YouTube. All in record speed over a super fast 3G network. The new Helio Fin, built by Samsung, supercharged by Helio. Check it out at helio.com.
Ready to start the second quarter here at Clemson. Seminoles against the Tigers. A sellout crowd, 83,000. Glad you could join us on Labor Day. Hope you've had a good holiday weekend. And this hopefully will cap it off for you.
Well, Clemson has done a nice job in mixing up their plays and utilizing the reverse, both as an actual play and as a little deception, faking the reverse. But that has kept this Florida State defense spread out and having to make plays in space.
And it's kept the pressure off of Cullen Harper. This time Davis has nowhere to go. Take a look at our game track as Alex Boston made that last tackle. Bowden Bowl 9. Son has beaten father 3 of the last 4. And Clemson with great field position the entire first quarter gets on top with a touchdown pass, and then Davis with a tremendous 29-yard touchdown run. And that's where we stand, 14-0.
The last couple third downs, Florida State has played zone, dropped more guys. I don't think they got, here we go. I think we might have an illegal substitution because there's time on the clock, the play clock.
Illegal substitution, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
Now, that doesn't seem like much, but to me that's a huge play because Florida State had them 3rd and 6, and now it's 3rd and 1. And so now with Davis and Spiller, you don't have to ask Cullen Harper to make a play. You just got to say, hey, number 1 or number 28, get us the first down and 4 new downs. I mean, that's a huge penalty for Florida State, who's playing with their backs against the wall right now.
And they go with a 3 tight end formation. Spiller, the sprinter, is the tailback. Florida State jumped. Spiller outside. If you get a shot to tackle him, you better take advantage of it. One guy misses, he's liable to be gone.
That's the second time that Clemson has gone on a longer snap count and gotten an easy 5-yard penalty against Florida State.
Looked like Neefe Moffitt that time. And that's not a rookie quarterback move. That's a veteran kind of move.
Yeah, short yardage play. You know that defense is trying to get across the line of scrimmage, guessing on the snap count. And you get the easy 5. And then you also go ahead and run the play, because with a guy like Spiller, he might be able to take it to the house.
And keep this in mind, it is such a hot, humid night here at Clemson that this defense is going to start to wear out if they have to stay on the field this kind of time. They're out there constantly. Can only do so much with the misters. Davis to the 41-yard line, and they always keep that. Somebody is always coming around to look like they might run a reverse.
And it reminds me a little bit of a team that had great success against Florida State last year, Wake Forest. The team that won the ACC championship, they run a lot of reverses and are constantly doing that. Faking reverse, running reverse. That's a main staple in their offense.
Michael Palmer is the tight end, the sophomore out of Stone Mountain, Georgia, that comes up limping. He's the starter.
Really a good blocker. He got the key block on James Davis's touchdown in the first quarter. Has really come on this offseason, added some weight and strength. The tight ends are a big part of Clemson's offense because they like to use 2, 3, and different formation packages.
Linthicum, who caught the touchdown pass, is back in there. Harper to the shotgun, quick throw, flanker screen. And there goes Kelly. Touchdown. They set that up beautifully. Thomas Austin, the right guard, got out there and threw him a good block. Other receivers were downfield throwing him a block. And Kelly takes it in for a touchdown.
You talked about that Florida State defense being on the field, maybe getting tired. That looked like a tired defense on that play, because Aaron Kelly, who's not a Blazer, ran right through him.
The 78th catch of Kelly's career. Only 12 players in the history of this program have ever had 100. 4 plays, 60 yards, only a minute 53. And look at this. Clemson by 21.
Man, that's an ugly sweater.
All right, Chuck, leave me alone. I'm trying to make this putt.
If you make this putt, I'll put you in my 5.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. I'm sorry, were you busy?
Who's in your Fave 5? Now get my faves on the new T-Mobile Sidekick, Dwayne Wade edition.
To catch a ruthless killer.
Number so far, 100+ kills.
An FBI agent and a Saudi commander.
I have 2 daughters. A man who can plan mass murder. Scares me more than anything.
Must work as a team.
So let's go catch this criminal.
On September 28th, leave your world behind and enter the kingdom.
We are about to find out.
You good?
I'm good.
Let's go.
The Kingdom, rated R.
Yesterday's history, just a nice memory.
I never think about yesterday. The only day that matters is today.
Start today with Gillette Fusion Power and the confidence you get from the world's closest, most comfortable shave. Turn it on. Soothing micropulses help you reduce friction. You'll barely feel the blades. Gillette Fusion Power. Be your best today.
If you're looking for a fresh ride at a price you can afford, then go to Motor City Auto Auction, where the prices are determined by you. Choose from over 300 vehicles each week or preview all of their inventory online. Now, Motor City Auto Auction has made it even easier to shop for a used car with on-site financing. Don't miss Monday's auction at 7 p.m.
At Motor City Auto Auction, we're smashing prices.
Motor City Auto Auction, Michigan's premier auction house on Grosbeck, north of 13 Mile in Fraser. 586-285-9500.
We're all gonna die.
Hatchet. 21-0 Clemson over FSU. We've had our great aerial shots tonight, courtesy of our friends at Outback Steakhouse. Look for Outback Steakhouse's continued aerial coverage of sporting events throughout the year. Clemson so far 3 touchdowns. Florida State has 1 first down, and it came on the first play of the game, a 22-yard scramble by the quarterback.
And that lack of offensive production has worn on this Florida State defense, both physically and psychologically. That did not look like a fired-up Florida State defense on that play.
Garvin at the 8. They could sure use a big return, and there he goes. Across the 30 to the 32-yard line, by far their best starting position after a kickoff.
Let's go back to the touchdown now. Here's Aaron Kelly. All right, he's going to catch this wide receiver screen, which Clemson loves to run. When Florida State tries to get penetration over the line of scrimmage, they throw these wide receiver screens. Thomas Austin gets a block, and what you see is the center, number 71, Barry Humphries, with more bounce in his legs than the Florida State defense. That was a tired-looking defense on a play that is not supposed to go for that big of a yardage against you.
Can the Seminoles adjust? Complete pass on first down to Preston Parker. Guy who's having a great spring this year. They expected wonderful things of him. Then he had a shoulder injury and it really slowed him down.
He is a very tough, competitive guy, and the coaches love him. Now, he had the fumble earlier in the game, but they want him in the ball game. He's got a little of that quickness and shiftiness and that ability to make something happen after the catch. I think Florida State's going to have to really put the ball in Drew Weatherford's hands a little bit more right now and let him use his throwing skills. And if they want to get the ball to Anton Smith, they might have to throw it to him, because when they try to line up and run right now against this Clemson defense, it's been like running against a stone wall.
Well, if you were Anton Smith right now, you wouldn't want him to hand it to you. He hasn't been able to get out of the backfield. Just shy. This is the first time the Seminoles offense has managed to get past its own 40. Smith said, this year I'm going to be the featured back. It's my time to shine, and I want to make my teammates proud of me.
I think the guy who has to step up for Florida State right now is Dakota Fagg, number 81. He's their go-to receiver. He's had a great camp. He's a senior, and they need a senior to step up and make some plays right now.
They'll give it to the fullback, trying to get only their second first down, and Marcus Sims is drilled. Well, they just ate him up. Darrell Scott, the nose man, the first man to hit him.
Well, from the very first play, they have been on it. They have been across the line of scrimmage. They've been running to the football. They've been gang tackling. They've been knocking the ball loose. This Clemson defense, with 7 returning starters from a pretty good group a year ago, has had the upper hand throughout this first half against Florida State.
Lost about half a yard, third down. Weatherford trying to get it himself under pressure, and he won't get it. Boy, the Clemson defense just swarming inside. Tremaine Billy, who missed almost all of last year, had a broken ankle suffered in preseason. had started 18 straight games. He is back. Philip Merling was also in there, the big defensive end.
I don't know what that play was, because that looked like a bust. It looked like a bootleg, but there was no tight end releasing out quick to throw to. I don't know if Weatherford went the wrong way, if Anton Smith went the wrong way, but you certainly don't want that on a 3rd and 1.
And Clemson did not go the wrong way. Gano to punt.
Fake punt.
Special teams has always been big for Florida State. He's on the run. And I'm not sure he wasn't across the line of scrimmage when he punted it. If he had been, it would have been a first down.
Wow, that's...
I've never seen that.
If he wasn't past the line of scrimmage, that's pretty good awareness by Gano, knowing where it was.
Now watch the yellow line.
No, that's the first down. The yard line's the 37-yard line.
Right.
And he looks like he is just barely behind it when he kicks the football. I'll tell you what, that's hard for a punter to know that. I mean, there's a flag right there. There's a marker right there. I think that was one of those, if you can get the first down, take it. If not, be creative.
Well, he created an 18-yard punt. That's what he created. And Clemson, instead of being backed up, has it again at its own 46. And now Cullen Harper wants a timeout. Harper with a timeout, 11:20 to go in the half.
Take me out to Esurance. Take me to savings online. Auto insurance that's hassle-free. When you buy it instantly, let me quote. Buy it at Esurance. If you don't save, it's a shame. For it's $100, $200, $300 you could save with the Esurance name.
Save time and money on your auto insurance at Esurance.
Okay, let's see what we've got here. Oh, wait a minute.
That's it. Yeah, that feels good.
Right in there? You hyperextended your adductor longus. Your vastus medialis could use a bit of stretching, too.
You trainers are saviors, man.
Trainer? Oh, I'm not a trainer. But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. How's that?
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Rated E for everyone. Who needs roads when there's dirt? Coming September 11 for PlayStation 3 Computer Entertainment System.
Critics everywhere agree.
Someone will bring him to justice.
3:10 to Yuma is a masterpiece. The best Western since Unforgiven. Russell Crowe, Christian Bale.
Laugh while you can.
3:10 to Yuma. Rated R. In theaters everywhere Friday.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar, eating good in the neighborhood, and Esurance. Get your fast, free auto insurance quote at esurance.com today.
Clemson with the football as their defense has shut down the Seminole running game and the passing game. And Cullen Harper so far 3 out of 7, but 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, not bad. He's done a good job of managing the game. Good job with his ball handling.
Harper, nice throw to Kelly.
Second time they've gone for the pump fake and the out and up off the 3-step drop. Now you got a couple things. You got aggressive defensive backs who are thinking, I've got to try to make a play. I've got to do something to help my defense. And then the other thing is you got a 6'5" receiver who's going to go up and fight for the football over a smaller corner. So you get the pump fake. and then you let your big receiver go get the football.
Patrick Robinson, number 21, never got his head around. Myron Roll, the Rover, freshman All-American a year ago, came over but got there late. And a nice touch throw by Harper. Here's Spiller picking his way inside the 25 to the 24. Everett Brown made the tackle. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, as many people might know right now, Cullen Harper is starting in his last senior year, and behind him is a highly recruited South Carolina product, Willie Korn. Tommy Bowden, this Clemson coach, actually pulled aside Cullen Harper and said, look, be prepared if you get booed tonight. These people want to see Willie Korn. They think he's the future. So you need to be mentally prepared. Guys, I'm no genius out here, but I don't think they're going to have to worry about that tonight.
Tonight, I think you're right. Harper with the delay gives to Spiller, and Spiller lost the ball.
One of the first times tonight we've seen Florida State with penetration into the Clemson backfield on a running play.
Now look at the officials. They're still digging in the pile, and Nefi Moffitt has the ball. Or rather, Dakota Watson has the ball, and the officials are still trying to unpile.
I think they say Florida State ball. Here comes Clemson walking off the field. The first time penetration in the backfield. The first time a Clemson back has met resistance behind the line of scrimmage, and Spillers just coughs it up. Doesn't protect the football, and the first good thing to happen for Florida State on either side of the ball right now happens for the defense.
It was something they desperately needed. They'll take over at the 27. Let's see if that gives them a little spark.
Dakota Watson, who came up with that, is from Aiken, South Carolina. A little bit of a homecoming for him tonight.
In the eye, the fake to Smith. Weatherford, good protection this time, floats it downfield. That was a jump ball to Dakota Fagg, and he was double teamed. Let's go to Holly with Gaines Adams.
Well, guys, Gaines Adams was the 4th overall pick in the NFL draft. He was so good for Clemson last year, but you've been in these first game situations as a defense before. How do you describe their defense tonight?
Well, overall, I mean, they're doing good. I mean, having some 3-and-outs, getting some good pressure on the quarterback. And obviously, they worked hard during camp, and the coaches did a great job with them.
How hard are you working in camp right now to try to get that starting spot?
Well, I'm working pretty hard. I mean, I'm just trying to take a day at a time and just focus on the little things and starting to come down the road. I mean, when I get the playbook down and get acclimated to the system, I'll be fine.
How difficult has it been for you to come from this Clemson system and learn your Tampa Bay system?
Oh, it's been tough. I mean, but with the guys on the team, defense veteran guys, Derek Brooks, Chris Hovan, and those guys, been walking me through every day, and I want to give thanks to those guys.
All right, thanks so much. We'll look for you this fall.
Thank you.
Holly, thanks very much. Gaines, thank you.
I think this is a critical play for Drew Weatherford right here. It's 21-0. 9 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first half. Your defense just came up for a turnover. You must keep the football and let your defense rest.
They only have 54 yards in total offense, and they get about 4 more there, but that is all as Parker makes the catch and is drilled by the Thorpe Award candidate Michael Hamlin.
This is a great job by the free safety Hamlin. He's 6'3", 205. If he doesn't hit this receiver high, Parker might slip underneath him and get the first down. But because Hamlin came in high and wrapped him up, he was able to force a punt situation for Florida State.
And really good recognition by him. As soon as that receiver had 1 step free of the linebacker, Hamlin was covering it up. Gano to kick to Ford, who is back as a single punt return man this time.
Flag down. Dead ball.
And they'll have to redo it.
Timeout on the field. Florida State.
Seminoles used their second timeout with 8:24 to go in the half. Last year, Ray McElrathby and his little brother Famar captured the hearts of America. When we come back, we'll update you on their amazing story.
Jack Link's Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Hey, you want to ride? It's okay. Sorry. We're sorry. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy. Oh,
Jack Link's Jerky. Feed your wild side.
Are these numbers right? Yes. Do you know what this means? It means we have doubled in the last 6 months. It means we're gonna have to hire more people, move into a bigger space to get those key card things. We'll need to order a lot more wood. What if this continues?
Dave, isn't that kind of the idea?
Citibank Business Banking. Whatever your growing business needs, Citibank's there with guidance and customized solutions to help your business thrive. Come to Citi and let's get it done.
She's cute.
My brother calls me Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will.
Adorable.
Is this the tea?
And dangerously attractive.
Now?
Not now. Wait till I get the...
On September 21st, falling in love with her is easy.
Cam's the one, man.
Not getting hurt could be a problem.
Sorry.
Good luck, Chuck. Rated R. In theaters September 21st.
Sunscreen. Helmet. Seatbelt. Subway restaurants know you want to protect your kids from all kinds of things, including obesity. That's why we created the new Subway Fresh Fit meal for active kids that fits into the American Heart Association's approach to a healthy lifestyle. Delicious subs with better-for-them sides like new Dannon all-natural yogurt. The tasty new Subway Fresh Fit meal for kids. Subway, eat fresh.
There is a star-crossed young man, Ray McElrathby, who was switched to running back this year from defensive back, tore up his ACL. He is out for the year. You know his story from a year ago when he got custody of his younger brother because of his family situation and the NCAA decision to allow them to open a trust fund to take care of that young man. And for more on that, here's Holly Rowe. Holly?
Well, guys, I've had a chance to speak with Famar tonight and Ray, and Famar's doing really great. He's in the 7th grade, and he's tried out for the football team. He's on the football team. He said he's doing great in school. Ray said he's still doing a great job doing chores around the house. He hasn't asked for any allowance. He doesn't like having the money on him, but everything seems to be going very well. Ray is a little frustrated about his injury, of course, but he's going through rehab and trying to do the best he can for Clemson right now.
You know, Holly, one of the things you hear about Clemson from a lot of people is how great of a community and a family atmosphere and the support that's been there for Ray and Famar. And Rob Spence, one of the coaches, and his family very involved. Lots of people in the community helping out in that situation.
Harper hit from behind as he threw, nearly picked off. Gino Hayes, one of the linebackers, had a shot at it as there was pressure on Harper, and he never saw it. Well, it is a wonderfully heartwarming story that they have managed to take care of that young man and his even younger brother under some really tragic circumstances for them.
I thought it was funny. Rob Spence was telling us, because I guess Famar spends a lot of time with his family, that he's become kind of a celebrity because he's so well known, and he's tried to tell him, hey, Famar, you haven't really done anything yet. I mean, you're getting recognized, but don't get caught up in that being a celebrity deal.
Two tight ends, including Michael Palmer, who's back in there, injured his knee a little bit before. Spiller. What a move. He's got that little stutter step where he stops, you stopped, and he goes, and he's gone.
Well, another guy stopped on that play, and that was Rendrick Taylor, number 5, stopped from not blocking in the back. Watch Spiller get out here. Now watch number 5. Instead of blocking in the back, he pulls off and just says, CJ, you do it, baby. And he does it. Quick feet, great vision, and a great burst on top of it.
Boy, he makes you look silly.
Makes you look like a good coach if you're the running back coach for Clemson.
Tigers out to the 40. Davis, he's got a big hole across midfield down to the Seminole 47-yard line, and they're starting to wear him down.
Well,
and your nickname of Thunder and Lightning's working.
They're just such a great combination. Now, we're seeing them on the field at the same time more than we did last year when we were here for the Georgia Tech game. But they've got this Florida State defense back on their heels, no question. When they do get penetration, other than that one fumble, they've hit them with a couple big plays.
The numbers tonight, they return as the 3rd best rushing combo in the NCAA. Harper sprints out of trouble. taken down at the 49-yard line. Myron Roll, the rover back, wasn't going to let him go.
Nice play by Myron Roll. Just he's one of those special young men, a sophomore, outstanding student from Galloway, New Jersey. Played a lot as a freshman last year, earned some freshman All-American honors, and he's going to be a great one here at Florida State before his time is done.
First team freshman All-American a year ago, the ACC Defensive Freshman of the Year. This is a veteran secondary for the Seminoles. You expect them to have great defensive backs, and they do again. Harper overthrown, intended for Aaron Kelly. For more on Myron Roll, here's Holly.
Well, Myron Roll had a very busy summer, not just preparing for football season, but as a student in a study abroad program over in London. Guys, his goal is to become a Rhodes Scholar. He did visit the city of Oxford, see what that's all about, and set his goals high for that. He is an amazing student. After his entire career, he got his first A- last semester. He said it was in organic chemistry. Guys, I think he's setting some pretty high goals for himself if an A- is unacceptable. This is a terrific man. He said he learned a lot about other cultures, and he also represented Florida State. He wore his gear around London. People were asking him about it, and he said he was very proud to be an ambassador.
Holly, I know how he feels. I got an A- once.
What class?
Speech, I believe.
It's Thomas Austin, the starting right guard, down with the injury. You know, with Myron Roll, though, I mean, you see some of those pictures, some of the things, and the glasses, and some people might think he's kind of nerdy. But how do you call a guy who's an All-American football player a nerd? I mean, he's not. You don't.
You don't, or you get busted right in the chops.
I mean, this guy. I mean, what do you think his teammates thought of him when they saw a picture of him riding a camel?
Having had the opportunity, I think he's crazy. Those are the foulest animals in the world. But he is a terrific young man. What a goal to have, to be a Rhodes Scholar.
Yeah,
I mean, that's absolutely magnificent. And in that case, it's spelled R-H-O-D-E-S, not the way we would go after it, R-O-A-D-S.
Thomas Austin was one of those guys out in front on Aaron Kelly's touchdown run on the wide receiver screen. Being helped off the field now. Again, this is a relatively new offensive line for Clemson. Barry Richardson, the left tackle, the only returning starter. Thomas Austin, a sophomore out of Camden, South Carolina.
And usually when you have a lot of new kids, it means you don't have a great deal of depth. Clemson facing 3rd and 10. Harper throws underneath, and
that's a nice play by Roger Williams, because, you know, if you miss that tackle on C.J. Spiller, he's turning that upfield for at least a first down, if not more. You got to be able to play in space. That's what Mickey Andrews said. We've got to be really good in space against these guys, because they get the ball to their playmakers in open spaces. And that time, Roger Williams made a great play in space.
He was 4th in tackles last year, had 4 interceptions. He is a leader in the secondary and a senior. So Clemson will punt it away. Mainers will kick to Parker. Clemson not doing much on offense right now, but honestly, they don't need to. There's the block. The Seminoles with a block punt. They'll have the ball inside the 20-yard line, and it was Roosevelt Lawson who came pouring right up the gut, and Mainers had it stuffed right off his foot.
Yeah, I mean, he's right in the middle. There he is. There's Lawson, and he's kind of in an awkward stance, and he's just going to turn sideways and slip right past the center and a direct line to the football. And I thought Mainer's first punt was slow and that Florida State might go after it again, but that time he wasn't even blocked. I mean, that wasn't an all-out rush. It was just a missed assignment on Lawson.
Boy, and he came right up the middle.
Sure did.
And they have been so great under Bobby Bowden on special teams throughout his entire career. Weatherford trying to take advantage. Will go out in the flat to Smith, and Smith will only get about a yard. Nick Watkins was out there shadowing him in the flat. This is a must-score situation for the Seminoles. You get a break like that, you have to take advantage. Weatherford looking to the bench for the call that they want. Fagg and Goodman are the wide receivers. Smith, maybe another yard. Courtney Vincent made the tackle. Preston Parker was in the slot that time. No sign of Greg Carr, who was the guy they like to throw the high passes to in the end zone.
Well, they're not quite close enough to do that yet. I mean, they've got to pick up a first down here. Preston Parker out of the game. I still think that Cody Fagg has got to be the guy that steps up for Drew Weatherford right here. But it's got to be good protection, too. They've got to give Drew time to make a play on this 3rd down and 8.
And they send Smith out as a wide receiver. Spread formation, throw it to the corner of the end zone, and it's out of bounds. It was intended for Anton Smith. Tremaine Billy was putting the pressure on, and that may have been a bad formation.
Moving Hills will receive it downfield. Offense, number 81. The penalty is refused.
Tremaine Billy is right here, and it's only a 4-man rush, and you should have enough guys to pick it up. They release the tight end, and nobody turns out on the outside rusher. I mean, that's 4 against 5, and you should be able to block that.
Well, they said 81 was the ineligible receiver. I think that's because Cody Fagg was covered up by a flanker. So he was not eligible, even though he's a wide receiver. Now they'll send on the field goal unit, and they'll try a 36-yard field goal. Sismazia, and he knocks it through. And with 4 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the first half clock, Florida State finally gets on the board. Let's check with Reese Davis, a SportsCenter 30 and 30.
All right, Mike, get you up to date on a couple of baseball stories. Pedro Martinez coming back from rotator cuff problems, pitched for the Mets, got a win, went 5 innings, and recorded his 3,000th strikeout in New York's 10-4 victory over Cincinnati. Meanwhile, Roger Clemens got knocked around. Ichiro got his 200th hit of the year. Seattle won the game 7-1, and Clemens is to have an MRI on his right elbow, which gave him some pain. SportsCenter after the game. You can always stay current with ESPN News.
Reese, a big turnover here for the Seminoles, but they only get 3 points out of the block punt.
Yeah, I think that's a win for Clemson. I really do. I mean, you know, your defense comes in, has to defend the short field after the block punt. They've been dominant the whole first half, and they hold them to a field goal. I mean, that's a win for Tommy Bowden's Clemson defense.
But Florida State offense still trying to figure it out, and Clemson's defense has dominated them. Eight straight Florida State possessions. They have failed to produce a first down. Florida State, 1 first down on the first play of the game. Clemson with 10, and more importantly, they have 3 touchdowns.
Florida State has had negative plays in the running game. They've had some penalties, bad pass protection, some miscommunication. A lot of the things that you would expect from a new offense and with young offensive linemen.
Ford and Spiller, world-class speed deep. High pooch kick. Spiller runs up to the 21. Trying to get to the wall on the outside. C.J. Spiller looking for a block. And did you see Jacoby Ford comes flying up on the outside? outside, past his teammate, got him a block, a 52-yard kickoff return.
Well, it was a short kick to start with. I mean, Spiller fielded that on about the 20 and then showed that speed getting all the way to the other side of the field. The kicker's not going to stop him. I thought they were trying to kick away from him and kicking short, and he came up and fielded it and made a big play.
Really, the kicking team did everything it could strategically to make it hard on Spiller, but speed burns strategy. So here is Clemson again in perfect field position, starting their offense again in Florida State territory.
I mean, when Florida State kicked this was a directional kick, and when you move the kickoff from back to the 30, you're going to see a lot of more teams going with directional kicks. So they want to pin him right here on the sideline and force him to go this way. But Spiller says, wait a minute, I'm fast enough. I'm going to go this way. And that's exactly what he does. Florida State is converging on him to pin him on the sidelines, but he breaks their contain with his speed. It looked like it was the right place to kick the football for Florida State, but the wrong guy to mess with.
Yes, it was. Clemson has started 5 of 9 drives tonight in Florida State territory, putting tremendous pressure on the defense.
How about the special teams at Clemson? They give up the block punt. They let Florida State come with the short field and get some points, and they come right back with a play of their own.
Davis, nice hole up the middle. Lost the ball. They're indicating he was down or Clemson recovered. Or both.
Now, James Davis in this game last year against Florida State, he was pretty well bottled up. He only had 20 yards on 13 carries until the final drive of the game. And then he came up with 67 yards on 6 carries, including the winning touchdown from a yard out with 8 seconds left. I mean, he's a guy who, as the longer the game goes on, especially when you can give him some rest with C.J. Spiller's running it some, he's going to get stronger and stronger as the game goes on and harder to tackle.
I love that stat. 55 of his 64 yards after first contact and an average of 8 yards a shot. It will be just shy of a first down.
You know, you mentioned earlier that C.J. Spiller was considering leaving and going somewhere else and closer to his home in Florida, and James Davis was one of those guys that got on a plane or a car or somehow went down to talk to his buddy and say, hey, wait a minute, just think this through before you make this decision. Just make sure you think it through clearly.
Davis will try to get the first down, and will down at the 17-yard line. Well, he has his girlfriend and his child lived very close to the University of Florida, and it would have been very convenient for him had he transferred. But now that they have straightened the situation out, those two folks have moved up here, so he is closer to his baby, and that's what he wanted.
And again, we talked about this last year with the humility and the teamwork and the putting the team first that James Davis and C.J. Spiller show. But it shows a lot about James Davis, too, because he could have been thinking, you know what, if he goes, I'm the guy all the time.
Sure.
I get 35 carries a game.
Fake to Davis, and then they give on the end around to Jacoby Ford. Not this time, as Everett Brown made the tackle. Here's Holly.
Well, James Davis told us when he went down to talk to C.J. Spiller, the point he made to him is, look, C.J., you made a big splash this year. You were the top rushing back in the ACC as a freshman. You had so much national exposure. If you transfer, you're going to sit out this year. Your name is going to drop off of the radar. That was one of their biggest arguments to him. And then when C.J. came up here in what Coach Bowden thought was to say goodbye, Coach Bowden had a whole stat sheet ready for him about what he had accomplished and what he could still accomplish.
And the bottom line, Holly, for Clemson is it worked. He is here, and he is certainly an integral part of this offensive scheme. And why not? Kid's got a lot of talent. And it's a big challenge for Rob Spence because he's always been a one-back guy. So he has had to go to other coaching staffs and really work so very hard to learn what it takes to integrate a second guy into the offensive scheme he wants to run. And you got to have hats off to Rob Spence for doing that.
A second guy who's not necessarily a fullback. I mean, he was familiar with that. I mean, he told us, you know, I'm a little out of my comfort zone doing it this way. But we've got to do it because these two guys are such great players.
Let's go to Holly.
Guys, I just wanted to revisit quickly a breaking story that happened on this Clemson campus earlier today. An administrative building on campus was evacuated and searched after an emailed bomb threat was received from university officials. So far, there's been no threat to the stadium. There was some increased security here tonight, but guys, I can tell you this is a very festive atmosphere. People do not seem to be concerned with it, and so far, so good here in Clemson.
All right, Holly, thanks very much. And of course, we want everybody to be safe and secure, and that is their first priority, but you're going to have to drag 83,000 people out of here tonight. See South Carolina State troopers everywhere.
This is the
Brandon
second.
Pilgrim is hurt.
Yeah, the second lineman to go down with an injury. We saw Thomas Austin, the right guard, go down first, and his backup now, that's Brandon Pilgrim, who came in for Thomas Austin.
Check in with Reese, see what we have coming up at halftime. Reese?
All right, Mike, ahead on the Olive Garden halftime report, a cause for celebration and a cause for concern for two different pitchers in New York City. We'll also relive the reverberation of the pain in the Big House on Saturday and what it means for Michigan going forward. And we'll also look ahead to the weekend's biggest games, get some early takes from Mark and Lou on games coming up this weekend, including Virginia Tech and LSU. It's all when you come back at halftime.
Reese, I wonder if Appalachian State, as a former 1AA team, can get votes in the 1A poll. I think they ought to.
I think that was the...
they can't, I am told by Mark Fredrickson.
Yes. The first time, though, the first time that a formerly known as a 1AA team, now the football championship subdivision team, beat a ranked, formerly known as a Division 1A team, now the... What is it, football?
I don't know.
Subdivision?
That takes so long to explain, and it is so silly. Andy Hutchison will come on as Pilgrim comes out, so that's two linemen that Clemson has temporarily at least lost here in the first half. Harper under pressure. Flag is down. That might be a face mask.
Well, and if it is, that's really an unfortunate call because that was good defense by Florida State. I think their defense has started to settle down a little bit in this game after that Aaron Kelly touchdown. And that was Geno Hayes making an aggressive play coming up on the quarterback, and he got a hold of the face mask. And he didn't need to because he was there plenty of time to wrap up and make a clean tackle.
Of an incidental face mask, that's a 5-yard penalty on the previous spot.
And Cullen Harper has no chance to run away with a guy with that kind of speed.
No, Cullen Harper's pretty athletic, but Geno Hayes has great speed.
Hayes and Ball converging, and watch the right hand. He got him.
See, but he came off of it. He didn't use the face mask to make the tackle or pull Harper down, so that's a good call, making it a 5-yard penalty, but they do get another shot at third down.
Hayes, the only returning starter among the linebackers. 3-man rush. Harper with time, throws for the end zone, jump ball knocked away. It was nearly intercepted. Tony Carter, the shutdown corner, had a crack at it. It was intended for Tyler Grisham, but Carter was in perfect position.
Yeah, they tried to go to that pump fake again. Now they've had a little success with it. This time, nobody bit from the Florida State secondary, and Carter comes over to help out his partner there, J.R. Bryant, on defending of Grisham.
And Mark Buckholz will try his first career field goal from 32 yards. 4-year starter on the soccer team. Played Friday. And tries to add to the lead. And whistles sound as he kicks the ball through. But somebody was trying to stop the snap, but they didn't. And Buckholz gets the field goal. Well, there is Todd's RV. This is nice.
Yeah, it was nice. We had a few little problems, but I wanted to take a little different trip this week because I had the Virginia Tech game on Saturday and I had this game tonight, and neither place real easy to get to. I decided I was actually here's how it happened, Mike. I was at the Pro Football Hall of Fame parade back in Canton on Saturday, the week of the Hall of Fame, and I'm sitting there with my family, and I saw John Madden's bus roll by in the parade, and John's waving to all the people in the parade, and I thought, you know what? I should look into getting an RV for this first week, because getting to Blacksburg and getting to Clemson, those places are hard. I want to go watch practice. So I went to a local RV dealership in my hometown and talked to them about maybe a rental arrangement, talked to ESPN. They said, yeah, I mean, if you're up for it, go. I got my best friend from high school, John Dietz, who works for the gas company. Great guy. He has done all the driving. My 10-year-old son, Quinn, decided to hop in and join the tour, and we've been gone for a week. I'm ready to get home, and but it has been fun. It really has. Got a lot of work done in the RV. We had a lot of laughs. Slept in it, showered in it, did the whole deal right in the middle of the tailgaters the last couple days here in Clemson, and it was a fun way to experience college football.
All right, I like it.
You want to do it?
I like it. Sure.
Next week?
Absolutely.
There's a lot of tailgaters at Penn State next week. I can guarantee you that.
I have a feeling if they got me an RV, it'd be about 4x4. Sleep standing up.
Yeah, this thing was big. A lot of things that it wasn't, but big it was. 40 feet long.
24-3. Clemson to kick it away. And a beautiful kick. That one goes 6 yards deep in the end zone. Todd, there were some real amazing stories from this first weekend of college football.
Oh, we mentioned, I mean, the upset of Appalachian State against Michigan can happen to any big team. You know, if you don't come ready to play and those little guys go up there with nothing to lose and everything to gain. It was a wonderful win for the team from Boone, North Carolina. Cal made a positive statement in their win over Tennessee. They were embarrassed last year in Knoxville. They came out and looked great in their first game. Wasn't quite so great for Charlie Weiss and Notre Dame. They stumbled all over the place, played 3 quarterbacks, 122 yards of offense. They've got to get things turned around before Penn State next week. And I was in Blacksburg, and it was a great place to be for the return of all the Hokies, players, fans, community, back to a football game in Blacksburg.
Florida State right now seemingly content not to do anything silly deep in its own end under a minute to go. You know, the Appalachian State fans, as this pass is tipped and incomplete, tore down the goalposts in Boone, North Carolina. When the game was over, they went over to their stadium and tore down the goalpost. That's pretty good. Next week, Monday Night Football returns to ESPN, kicking off with a doubleheader, first at 7 Eastern. It's the Ravens against the Bengals, and at 10:15, the Cardinals and the 49ers. Don't miss the return of Monday Night Football on ESPN next Monday night.
And we actually laid on the air horn on our RV when we drove past Boone, because we actually passed it 4 times during this trip, because we went to Clemson, went back to Blacksburg, went back to Clemson, and we'll pass it again tomorrow when we go home.
3rd and 6. Weatherford throws, tipped and incomplete. Big hit by Hadrian Lewis, a backup corner who laid the wood to Preston Parker.
Well, what do you do here if you're Tommy Bowden? Do you go after this punt with 36 seconds left? You've got 1 timeout left. Or do you try to let Jacoby Ford or C.J. Spiller make a big play on a return?
I like the return. I mean, if you've got C.J. Spiller.
Yep.
Gano is on to kick. Seminoles get that 11th guy on late. Ford stumbles as he tries to get outside, taking down at the 33-yard line. Patrick Robinson chased him down after a 4-yard return with 23 seconds to go. Florida State offense 31 plays, averaging 2 yards a play. You take away the 22 that they got on a first down scramble, 30 plays, 40 yards. Ouch.
Ouch is right. And this is again, it starts with their inability to run the football, and you see Jimbo Fisher. I mean, they're going to have some soul searching to do in the locker room at halftime. There's no question. They got to find some things that they feel good about doing. I think it's going to have to be Drew Weatherford in the shotgun throwing the football.
9 straight possessions with no first downs for Florida State. Give that Clemson defense a lot of credit. They will walk off the field with a 24-3 lead. Let's go to Holly.
Coach, how do you assess your new offensive performance in the first half?
Well, offense and defense does not look good at all. It's blocking and tackling. They're blocking, we're not blocking. They're tackling, we're not tackling. It's as simple as that. If we could turn that around, we'll probably be ahead.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Our halftime score is Clemson 24, Florida State 3. Let's join Reese Davis for the Olive Garden halftime report.
All right, Mike, so Florida State with that revamped staff still awaiting the first third down conversion of the Jimbo Fisher era. It's been complete dominance by the Clemson defensive front. The offense has provided some spectacular plays, but Lou and Mark are here. Defensively, they're just running right through the FSU offensive line.
They definitely are, and we're giving praise to Rick Trickett, the new offensive line coach at Florida State that was brought into West Virginia to make this a better offensive line. We were giving him kudos all preseason. Well, the kudos go this first half to Ron West, the defensive line coach of Clemson, because they've been in the backfield the entire first half, making plays, wreaking havoc on quarterback Drew Weatherford. Right now, they're setting the tempo and the tone for the entire Clemson football team.
But if number 1 and number 28 were on the Florida State sideline, it might be a little different. I've never seen 2 backs beat so many tackles, and I'm talking about incredible moves, type of moves that you would see from Barry Sanders, etc. But Clemson hadn't made many mistakes, and Clemson, I think, won 3 out of the last 4.
Performance by the Tigers.
Really has, and particularly the defense. I mean, I think the offense has played well. Cullen Harper has been pretty solid in his first start. Of course, you got Davis and Spillers, but it's really been a story about the Clemson defense. They have been swarming, fast, physical, all over the field. And you know, for Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator at Florida State, the thing he's got to tell those guys in the locker room, hey, guys, I don't think it can get any worse than this. We did not convert a third down. We gained 62 yards of total offense, and if you take Drew's scramble for 22 out of that, we got 40 yards of offense. We're better than this. Okay, let's go out and let's start making some plays. And I just think that they've got to throw the football to try to get back in this game. Drew Weatherford is a big, strong quarterback. They've got some skill at wideout. They just got to give him a little time to throw the football.
Well, the ground game has been non-existent.
Non-existent. That's right. And now's not the time to try to fix that. I mean, you fix that on the practice field next week. You're not going to fix that tonight against this Clemson defense.
There's Jacoby Ford. Kelly is back with him. Kelly at the goal line. Gets it out to the 21-yard line.
We talked about thunder and lightning. James Davis, the power guy, shows some balance and vision also. He's not just bull runner. He can do a little bit of everything. A beautiful touchdown run by James Davis. And then C.J. Spiller has had his moments, too, of lightning. The kickoff return, the punt return, rather. It was a kickoff return. Showing that burst, the ability to make something out of nothing. And, you know, last year in this game, C.J. Spiller only had 2 carries for -4 yards, and it was a very frustrating game for him, even though Clemson won the game. A much better game tonight.
Have 101 yards combined, 89 after contact. Davis was first-team All-ACC last year, and one of the Seminoles is down.
That's one of the things, and Bobby Bowden echoed it. I've heard a lot of coaches this offseason, this summer, talk about their opinion of the new rule and kicking from the 30-yard line. They think it's going to be more collisions, and more injuries are going to result from that. If you have more kickoff returns, it's guys running down the field 50 yards and colliding, and they've lost some key players to injuries on kickoff coverage. over the last couple years. Now, it looks like Mr. Alexander is going to be okay coming off on his own power, but that's one of the things that's a concern of coaches.
What a great first name, huh?
Sure, it's beautiful, Mr. Don't call me Mr. Mister.
It's really an odd look. Clemson starting from its own 21-yard line instead of in Seminole territory. Davis, the single setback, will get a carry and only gets a couple of yards, but Thacker dragged him down. Let's go to Holly Rowe. Holly?
Guys, I spoke with Tommy Bowden of Clemson at the half, and I asked him, how do you keep the pedal to the metal in the second half? He said, you know, this is a team that hasn't had to do it yet. Obviously, it's our first game. He said it'll be interesting to see if we can. He liked the performance of his young quarterback, Cullen Harper. And, guys, when I asked him, is there any area that you think you need to improve on in the second half, with a straight face, he said the running game. Now, let me give you two other quick injury updates. Thomas Austin will be back after an ankle injury. Brandon Pilgrim, though, not so lucky for Clemson. He's out with a right elbow injury. He won't return.
All right, Holly, thanks very much. Yeah, you're right. Hard to say it with a straight face that he wants a better running game in the second half. Sadat Chambers getting a chance to play. Takes the little swing pass from Cullen Harper and is taken down. What do you think of Harper so far?
I think he's done okay. You know, his numbers aren't really impressive, but he hasn't thrown it to the wrong color jerseys. He's managed the game pretty well. His ball handling has been solid. He's got them into the right plays the majority of the time, and I like his presence. You know, I mean, he looks calm and cool during the course of the game.
And right now, that's all they're asking for him, right?
That's right.
Him?
That's right.
That's Jacoby Ford, and that doesn't look good. The way he's holding that right shoulder. And this will be a first down. Darrell Berry, a sophomore tight end.
That was a nice little reaction by Cullen Harper because it was kind of a quick read. There was pressure. He spotted the tight end alone and just kind of a little pop pass to the tight end for the first down conversion.
Now remember what Tommy Bowden said earlier this week. One of the things he thought he made a mistake with last year was when they had a big lead, they didn't work on their passing game nearly enough, and then it came back to bite them at the end of the season. So don't be surprised to see them throwing here up 24-3, even though it's against a good team, Florida State.
Yeah, you know, most of the time your logic says run the football and run the clock. And you still are going to do that to a degree, but his problem is that when they got into games where the running game suffered, they weren't confident enough or comfortable enough in throwing intermediate throws down the field to make a defense honest. And teams really started to squeeze them at the end of the year.
Against a four-man rush. Harper in trouble, and down he goes this time. The speed rush from the outside. Nefi Moffitt and Andre Fluellen, a really good defensive tackle up the middle, combined to bring him down.
Well, this is good pressure. We haven't seen a whole lot of this from Florida State, but Nefi Moffitt just whips his man. Now that's a tight end working against a defensive end. Not a good matchup for Clemson, and Nefi Moffitt just powers past him to the quarterback.
Boy, and that has come far too seldom for the Seminole defense.
This looks like a three-man rush with an eight-man drop for Mickey Andrews' defense. Third and long. Forced the quarterback to throw underneath. And now a timeout called from the sidelines. Tommy Bowden called that timeout.
Didn't like the personnel they had out there and the way they were lining up on 3rd and 17. Early third quarter, timeout on the field.
Highly responsive IS from Lexus.
No chips ground into the carpet. No beer runs. No belly bumping. Let's do it.
Ice cold beer straight from the tap.
Big screen TVs, hot food.
Beautiful women serving you.
The only place to catch all the action is Hooters. Check out our new football menu featuring boneless wings, a delicious pot roast sandwich, and mini training burgers for only $7.99.
Hi.
Either she goes or I go.
Get rid of my dog. I've had Maxie for 8 years. I can't just abandon her. But that girl's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Only you can choose what is right for you.
Beck's Choices make it the #1 German export beer.
Whatever. Next.
Tiger Woods, PGA Tour 08, rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Dedication. Hard work. While always looking to the future. That's what makes an ACC student athlete. Me. Developing the best of myself to become a better person. Making it all come together. Achieving, preparing for tomorrow. Then it hit me. I'm also preparing for the rest of my life.
The Atlantic Coast Conference. Striving for tomorrow. Today.
Back at Clemson, South Carolina for the 9th Bowden Bowl. Florida State dominated it early, but look at Clemson. They have won 3 of the last 4 and have a big leg up on making it 4 of the last 5. 83,000 strong, and they've had a lot of fun watching this one tonight. 3rd and 17. Cullen Harper against a 3-man rush. Trying to take off. Spins out of a tackle. Harper slides in. It'll depend on the spot. He was right at the sticks when he slid. And remember, it's where he started to slide, not where he ends up, if you go feet first. And the spot indicates he's got it.
Great recognition by Harper. Turns into an athlete at this point. Tucks it. He knows he's got to protect the football, and nobody's wrapping him up. So he just kept running forward, and he knew what he needed for the first down. Did he get there or not? I think he got it.
Well, I didn't think he did. His feet hit that yellow line. Of course, it's not official, but it's real close, and that would mean the ball would be at least a yard back. But he got a great spot. Davis. Well, that ground game's been pretty good down to the 44-yard line. Here's what Bobby Bowden saw on that scramble. Dadgummit. Double dadgummit. He's down 24-3. He said, you got to tackle that guy.
Blocking and tackling. They're blocking, we're not. They're tackling, we're not. They didn't tackle that time.
He's seen it all, and he recognizes the basics aren't being done for his ball club right now. At least not well enough. Davis again.
Now, we haven't seen C.J. Spiller in this series. We think he's experiencing some leg cramps. So we've seen Sadat Chambers in here. We've seen 2 or 3 tight ends in a couple times. James Davis, the one consistent. Now he's coming out.
Very hot, humid night. And look at the disparity in yards. 248 for Clemson, 62 for Florida State. Cullen Harper did a really nice job on that last play of continuing to carry out what might have been a fake after he gave the ball to Davis. That'll come in handy later, perhaps.
It's Rendrick Taylor carrying the football out of the fullback position. A lot of different formations. He's listed as a wide receiver, but he's 6'2", 240 pounds. So he's really more like a tight end, H-back, fullback type player.
He's out of Clio, South Carolina.
A lot of injury problems in his career. He's had to really fight through those things. He's a big physical guy that gives them some flexibility in some different personnel groups.
And you're right, he is listed as a wide receiver. That is a big wide receiver. Mainers to punt. Gets really good protection this time. Kicking to Parker. Parker lets it go. Unfortunately for the Seminoles, it reaches the end zone. A punt of 41, no return. Can Drew Weatherford and the Seminole offense get a spark? They're down by 3 touchdowns.
The all-wheel drive IS-250 confidently handles most any surface, even thousands of surfaces at once.
I could hardly believe it when I heard the news today. I had to come and get it straight from you. Tell me, how am I supposed to live?
Overpriced brokers everywhere are getting their hearts broken because their customers are switching to E-Trade, where $50,000 gets you professional investment advice, and trades are just $6.99 to $9.99. It's easy, it's extraordinary, it's E-Trade.
Yesterday's history, just a nice memory.
I never think about yesterday. The only day that matters is today.
Start today with Gillette Fusion Power and the confidence you get from the world's closest, most comfortable shave. Turn it on. Soothing micropulses help you reduce friction. You'll barely feel the blades. Gillette Fusion Power. Be your best today.
Hello, I'm Orville Redenbacher. That's your wagon. Can this officer tell which popcorn is my gourmet popping corn? Let's move it. Sure, we'll start now. Is that yours? No, officer, this is mine. It pops so much bigger and fluffier, it's blowing the top off of the popper. Look, amazing, isn't it? Most every kernel pops. Taste my gourmet popping corn. Pretty good. You'll like it better, or my name isn't Orville Redenbacher. Redenbacher, huh?
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection. And E-Trade. It's easy. It's extraordinary. It's E-Trade.
83,000 at Death Valley here at Clemson, enjoying opening night because their Tigers are up 24-3 on the Seminoles. Davis on the toss. The first time he's had running room all night long. Good block by David Overmeyer, the right tackle.
Well, this has just been a dominant effort by the Clemson defense. Vic Koenig, the defensive coordinator, has had his guys prepared, and they played fast. He said, you know, I kind of wish we had a little bit of more movement, a little more stunting, but just over the last 3 or 4 days, we just started doing everything right, and so I decided to keep it simple, and that simple plan has worked to perfection tonight.
Anton Smith with that last carry picked up 7. Smith again, this time great hold, drives over the 40. And Tremaine Billy made the tackle. That was the first FSU first down since we were 30 seconds into the ball game. You get the feeling some of those offensive linemen may have been challenged on the sideline.
Well, or in the locker room for sure. And part of that was, okay, what do we think we can do? I mean, where can we gain some yards? How can we sustain a little bit of momentum offensively? And they found something with 2 plays.
Weatherford off the play action, throws underneath to his tight end. That's Charlie Graham. Let's check in with Reese for a SportsCenter 30 at 30.
All right, Mike, a couple of pitching stories out of New York. First, Pedro Martinez is back from rotator cuff surgery. He wins his season debut and records his 3,000th strikeout in the process as the Mets beat Cincinnati 10-4. Pedro did hit 90 on the radar gun. Meanwhile, Ichiro took Roger Clemens deep, got his 200th hit in this game, and Clemens in the Yankee loss felt some pain on his elbow. He's going to have an MRI. SportsCenter after the game. Stay current with ESPN News.
Weatherford dragged down, sacked by Nick Watkins, their leading tackler from a year ago.
Clemson has not blitzed a whole lot, but they did this time. And it was Nick Watkins who came on an inside linebacker blitz. Watch these two linebackers come on the inside rush. They timed the snap perfectly. They crossed over the center's face, and Watkins came clean right to Weatherford. A well-called blitz by Vic Koenig, and again, the mastery of this Clemson defense showing itself again.
3rd and 12. Weatherford has to go to the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. Steps up, throws underneath.
Well, I love that play by Drew Weatherford. You know, his team's struggling. He's not able to really set his feet and be comfortable in the pocket, but he doesn't just take off and try to run. If he does that, he's tackled short and they're punting. He took off to just buy time, but kept his eyes downfield. Watch him. He scrambles, but he's never loses sight of his receivers. He dumps it off underneath and lets Anton Smith make the first down. And this is really good work by a quarterback who's leading an offense that is really struggling right now.
And good job by Smith, because he had to get those extra yards on his own to get the first down. Here's Weatherford again under pressure. And it was DeAndre McDaniel coming up to force him back in the pocket. Cumbie made the tackle, and it looks like the flag may be against the Seminoles.
It'll be 2nd and 11.
I think you deny or decline this penalty. 2nd and 11 or 1st and 15. And another free rusher for Clemson.
Excellent recognition by McDaniel. He realized he had no one to cover out in the flat and just came sprinting at the quarterback.
Back in 2004, Vic Koenig was the defensive coordinator at Troy, and they played LSU and Jimbo Fisher's offense in a homecoming game in Baton Rouge. His team lost 24-20, but they held LSU to 57 yards rushing in that ball game.
Weatherford was with time, throws underneath, and that one is complete to Cody Fagg, the veteran senior receiver, with his first catch of the night.
Again, this is the guy that they've got to find a way to get the football to. He's their best receiver, their most experienced guy. Good timing throw by Drew Weatherford. It's a little quick slant route. Get inside, use that big body to keep the ball between yourself, between the ball and defender, and get closer.
And he is a guy who is willing to go over the middle and take a hit. 6'3", 215, bigger than most of the guys that cover him. 3rd and 3. Are we in 4-down territory already? Well, it looks like we're in timeout territory already.
Florida State takes a timeout.
And you see those yellow slashes up there. That's the timeouts that you can keep track of. Both teams are down to 2. And as long as they're yellow, those are the timeouts that are left. If you've ever been looking for a place to eat in a college town, always best to follow Todd Blackledge's advice. When we come back, we'll find out what juicy morsels he found right here in Clemson.
Buffalo Wild Wings. You have to be here.
For over 40 years, Bill Fox Chevrolet has been family-owned and known for our huge selection, highest trade value, and customer satisfaction. And now we're celebrating our anniversary with incredible deals on new Chevy cars and trucks.
Hi, folks. Check out these deals. 07 Impala,
only $229 a month. 07 Trailblazer 4x4, only $239 a month. Come visit us today.
Bill Fox Chevrolet, the great American dealer. 3 miles north of M59 on Rochester Road, or visit us at BillFoxChevrolet.com.
The shower isn't the only place you can sing like a star. Now you can bust a rhyme or rock the house whenever you want with a karaoke channel on demand. Get unlimited access to hundreds of your favorite sing-along tracks anytime, day or night. Just use your remote to pick the tunes you love to sing, from today's hottest hits to classic golden oldies. Call your provider to subscribe. So step out of the shower and become a star with the karaoke channel on demand.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, available on ESPN HD, presented by Pioneer Puro HD TV. Anton Smith to the outside, not a chance. Chris Chancellor led the tackling barrage, and you're right, Todd, he may have lost a yard. And it's 4th and 4.
That shows you the speed of this Clemson defense, because Anton Smith may be the fastest guy on the Florida State team. I mean, he's got great speed, and he's trying to get to the sideline and ended up losing yardage. And now you have 4th and even longer, and Drew Weatherford almost has to throw the football on this down.
I like this call, don't you?
They have to. They have to.
Weatherford to the gun. He has 4 wide receivers. Pressure. Weatherford again throws on the run, and Carr got his hands on it and couldn't hold it. There is a flag down, and Weatherford was buried again.
Well, Deron Rose, the left tackle, he just got whipped at the start of the play. He got beat to the inside, and then he reached out and grabbed to try to make up for the mistake. Watch this right here. Watch Deron Rose just get beat right away on an inside rush. And he reaches with that right hand and grabs Tremaine Billy, and there's the penalty. Drew Weatherford didn't have a chance on that play.
Would have been a tough catch, but a possible catch for Carr.
There's Rick Trickett right in the grill.
Is just giving it to him.
I mean, Tremaine Billy is 6'1", 210 pounds. He missed all of last season with a broken ankle, but he is their rusher to the field. He is an excellent pass rusher, and he just used his quickness to go right around Deron Rose.
Clemson football. Here's the toss to Spiller. Showing that speed to the outside, pushed out of bounds. Tony Carter pushed him out.
Well, they're creative. I mean, Rob Spence has done a great job of calling plays. I mean, they're inside, they're outside, they're reverse, they're sweep, they're a little bit of everything. They've done just enough to keep what I think is going to be a very good Florida State defense off balance tonight for the most part the entire evening.
Straight up the middle to James Davis. LaTroy Guyan made the tackle. He is not a starter, but he's seen lots of time. And Davis, 15 carries, 90 yards. This is a great duo. This is going to be guys that are tough to stop. 127 combined so far.
And since Clemson and Florida State started playing again, here we go into the direct snap. This is Cullen Harper out here at the quarterback. Davis in the single.
He'll get it, fakes the Spiller, keeps it up the middle. Flag is down. That should be a hold where they threw it. Roger Williams made the tackle.
Now what they call that, when James Davis is in the quarterback position, they call that the Buffalo formation. When Spiller's in there, they call it the Hog formation. Not sure
rather
why.
Be a Buffalo, wouldn't you? Tommy Bowden can afford to smile on that penalty. He's up 24-3.
We'll replay the down.
Sounds like they got the center, Barry Humphries, number 71. Very athletic young center out of Anderson, South Carolina. They really think he's got a chance to be an excellent player.
He's going to make it 2nd and 16 for the Tigers.
Second down, 16 yards to go. Parker screen. Oh, we told you if you wanted something good to eat in Clemson, follow Todd's advice. Here it is.
Well, I just rolled into Clemson from Blacksburg, Virginia, and I am really hungry. And I've been told the place to go to in Clemson is Mac's Drive-In. And I've also been told what I need to get is the cheeseburger steak smothered in gravy and onions with a nice glass of sweet tea on the side. So that sounds good to me. Let's go check it out. Mac here, he's had this place for 52 years, been here every day in those 52 years. And this is just what I'm looking for in Todd's Taste of the Town. Can't wait to get my food.
3rd and 5, and they're not going to make it. Flag is down. Seminoles celebrating. Pretty tough to get all fired up when you're down by 21 points, though.
Well, you're looking for anything to get a little bit excited about. It has not been a good night for the Garnet and Gold.
We will show you the second part of Todd's report after the punt. I think everything is going to involve gravy and grease this year, isn't it?
I can't afford that. I can't afford to do that. But this first one out of the box.
Bad snap. And there's a smart play. Mainers just decides this is too dangerous. I'm going to take a safety, give you 2 points, and live to fight another day.
This one way over the head of Mainers. And you're right, a pretty smart play. You've got a nice, comfortable lead. The only negative, you're going to give the ball back to Florida State.
Yeah, that looked like run, Forrest, run, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right out of the end zone. Leonard, the deep snapper, airmailed one. Good job by Jimmy Mainers to chase it down. So now they have a free kick from the 20, and it's 24-5. So you still got a 3-touchdown lead.
Sure you do. But Florida State should get field position has not been their friend in this game so far. They should get decent field position to start this possession.
Remember last year, all the problems that Clemson had with the kicking game, that was in place kicking. They can either place kick this or punt it. And they'll set it up at the 20. And we've got Parker and Garvin deep to return.
(24-5).
Buckholz to kick it away. And the return across the 40-yard line. What do you think Todd ordered? Let's take a look.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard you can't graduate from Clemson unless you come to Mac's to eat cheeseburgers. But I do know that Danny Ford, when he was coaching here, used to drive down his pickup truck and eat a bunch of times here with Mac. Oh, boy, that looks good, doesn't it? Mmm. Messy. That's good.
Cheeseburger steak smothered in gravy and onions.
It was good.
A little side of fries for you. Weatherford on the run. He's going to throw this one away. So you have found the ultimate deal here. You're going to find a way to get free food every city we go to.
I'm going to try. I mean, you know, there are some things that I'm very good at, and eating is one of them. I love to eat, and I love to find the little hole-in-the-wall places in college football towns that, you know, they're off the beaten path a little bit, but are great places, have a lot of character. And that was Mac's Drive-In was a great first stop for my little tour. Well, I just got to keep working out. I got to keep running and staying in shape if I'm going to eat like like that week in and week out.
I could tell with all the gravy on there, you love to eat. Let's put it that way.
It was good.
Yeah,
it was good. I'm already thinking about next week too. State.
Well, you know Penn State.
I know that place.
You ate for free up there for 4 years. Weatherford under pressure again. The stunts have really bothered the Florida State line. Complete pass to Parker, made the catch. Of course, we will be at Penn State this coming weekend. 6 Eastern is the game time start against Notre Dame. Then at 9:15, 2 top 10 teams collide. Virginia Tech meets LSU. College football primetime presented by Hampton Saturday night on ESPN. And Notre Dame got off to just a horrible start this weekend.
I would expect they'll be better this week. I think they'll probably settle on a quarterback and fix some of the problems they had against Georgia Tech.
Blitz coming. Anton Smith to the outside to midfield.
And up to number 6, Anton Smith.
Of course, one of the problems with college football, quarterbacks come and go, and we lost some.
Yeah. Well, the difference between those two situations is that Notre Dame, those guys, none of them have played it down until last week. Matt Flynn, he was a 5th-year senior, and he actually started a bowl game. He appeared in 38 games, so even though he's a new starter, he's not new to that program.
And he looks sharp.
Yeah.
3rd and a yard. First down, Seminoles, and straight up the middle goes Smith. Anton Smith inside the 5 to the 1. Saving tackle by Chris Clemons, but on 3rd and 1 he went 49 yards. Finally got him free of the line of scrimmage.
3rd and short. Anton Smith finds the crease. A missed tackle in there was all he needed. Jock McKissick, number 50, had a shot at him and couldn't bring him down. And Anton Smith finally, with a little space, shows his speed. C.J. Spiller, not the only tailback with great speed. Anton Smith has some of his own.
So now 1st and 10. They come out with a tight formation. 2 fullbacks. Smith the tailback, and he'll get the short toss. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Seminoles. The safety for 2. It set up the free kick and gave them decent field position.
Absolutely.
And now it looks like they will go for 2. This would make it 24-13 if they convert.
We still have a whole quarter of football to play. And if Florida State starts to get a little energy. Now, the one thing these coaches talked about, Rick Trickett, particularly the line coach, said, I know we're in shape now. You know, this team lost 5 of its 6 games by a touchdown or less in the 4th quarter, and he thought it was because too much weight and too much fatigue. He thinks they've got the right bodies to go the distance this year.
Keep an eye on Carr on the right side, 89. They like him down here. Weatherford just sort of threw the ball away as he was going to the right. I'm not exactly sure what Weatherford was trying to do there.
I'm not sure either. It might have been like a shovel pass or something they were trying to get, but too much penetration into the backfield by Clemson's defense.
They sure didn't execute it well as Ricky Sapp, number 7, was putting the pressure on. Last year in Tallahassee, Tony Carter was the star. He blocked 2 kicks, scored 9 points. With under a minute to go, James Davis ripped off a 50-yarder and then punched it in to win it 27-20 in Tallahassee.
I mentioned that was one of the 5 losses. Now, they also lost 30-0 to Wake Forest, where they just got dismantled at home. But the 5 other losses were all by a touchdown or less. All games decided in the 4th quarter. And this new offensive coaching staff said, I think they just wore out. And we've got to be in better shape. We've got to lose weight. We've got to condition harder. We've got to be ready to play good football all out in the 4th quarter.
the word that permeated the Florida State program from outsiders was soft. And they certainly aren't that anymore. Anton Smith, the guy this year, and broke off a 49-yarder. And now it's 24-11 with time winding down in the third quarter. C.J. Spiller is deep. He wants the football. He won't get it. Instead, it's Jacoby Ford, who came off and went to the locker room for IVs earlier, and Ford driven out of bounds to the 15-yard line. Here's Holly.
Well, guys, I don't want to push the panic button just yet, but remember, this Clemson team ended their season 1-4. They did not finish the job, and that has been their team motto so far this season. In fact, in the locker room at halftime, Tommy Bowden stood up and said to them, look, it is 0-0. I need your ultimate focus right now to finish this. He said, we want to be the ones that they're talking about tomorrow. He started yelling, finish the job. And as the team ran out of the locker room, they screamed again, finish the job. We'll see if they can do it.
Todd, when you were up 21 points and Joe Paterno said it's 0-0, did you buy into that?
Well, against a quality opponent, yes. I mean, you had to buy into that a little bit. You can't get complacent. You can't go into a shell, either offensively or defensively.
Pass complete up to the 23-yard line. Now they say incomplete.
I mean, there's just a lot of football left to be played, and I think Florida State, if they can get a stop here, they're going to have a little more juice in their system than they've had this entire football game.
Well, obviously they have a little momentum going their way. That last pass intended for Kelly, and he couldn't hold it.
So you didn't see that kind of stuff when it was 21-0. No, there wasn't a lot of energy on the sideline.
Spiller to take the direct snap.
They didn't get the play off.
So Clemson starting to make.
Go ahead, Gay. Offense.
Couple of little mistakes that they did not make earlier.
Yeah.
And instead of 2nd and 10, now you have 2nd and 15. Clock stop with 27 seconds to go, third quarter. Spiller is the setback with Harper as he goes into the shotgun, and now switching wide receivers. They're just having a tough time getting lined up right now.
Well, the 25-second clock hasn't started, so they're not in any danger of anything right now. But they look a little discombobulated nonetheless.
Harper under pressure. They got him in the end zone.
And you know what? That's a holding with the quarterback in the end zone. Christian Capote, number 67, the right tackle, is the guy who got caught for the holding. That was a powerful pass rush by the Florida State front.
Could this be another safety?
Face mask.
Well, he held him. He held him by the face mask. But if the penalty is in the end zone, it's a safety, or if he's tackled in the end zone, it's a safety.
I think he threw the ball.
See if our referee will give us an explanation.
Face mask. Offense. Number 79. We're going to go half the distance to the goal.
That's Barry Richardson, their All-American candidate.
Take a look. It's going to be happening on the left side of your screen. There it is right there. There's the face mask. Clear call. A power rush by Everett Brown. And again, just a new bounce in this Florida State football team right now. After that offensive touchdown, a couple badly executed plays by Clemson. And now it's 2nd and very long. And Cullen Harper needs to be very smart with the football right here.
Bad snap. Harper's got it. Has to dive on it at the 1. And Clemson is starting to come apart at the seams.
They are. And it's just something you can feel right here. As the fourth quarter, you look at the difference on the two sidelines as this clock goes down the fourth quarter. Who do you think's winning? You look at these two teams and try to decide.
It looks right now like Florida State emotionally has the lead, even though they're behind 24-11 on the third quarter scoreboard.
Big man gonna try to overcome the big man. Everybody step aside. Put on over.
ESPN College Football Primetime, Notre Dame versus Penn State, Saturday at 6 on ESPN.
Highly responsive IS from Lexus.
Jumbo popcorn chicken, huh?
I know, and how about this creamy chipotle sauce?
Yeah,
It's great.
Yeah, this is totally portable, you know?
Yeah, you could sneak this into a movie theater if you wanted.
Yeah.
Or a baseball game,
Yep,
you know?
or another
whatever.
Sonic.
What are you saying, that you would just bring these over to another Sonic and then just kind of sit there and eat them?
Got him!
Jumbo popcorn chicken, now at Sonic. Portable all-white meat chicken with our new creamy chipotle sauce or any of our other great sauces. Pay the Sonic way. Swipe your credit or My Sonic card from your car.
They're coming. Sure as God's vengeance, they're coming. 310 to Yuma is a masterpiece full of rip-roaring action. Christian Bale and Russell Crowe are unbelievable. 310 to Yuma. Rated R. In theaters everywhere Friday.
Man, that's an ugly sweater.
All right, Tug, leave me alone. I'm trying to make this putt.
If you make this putt, I'll put you in my 5.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. I'm sorry, were you busy?
Who's in your Fave 5? Now get my faves on the new T-Mobile Sidekick, Dwayne Wade Edition.
Yesterday is history. Today is what matters.
Start today with the world's most comfortable shave. Gillette Fusion Power. Turn it on. Soothing micropulses help you reduce friction. You'll barely feel the blades.
The best a man can get.
Welcome back to Clemson, South Carolina, where things have flopped around a little bit, folks. 24-11. Clemson with the lead, but Florida State with all the momentum, and there is a tremendous disparity in the yardage in the third quarter. Cullen Harper, shotgun in his end zone, 3rd and 24. On the run, throws sideline, complete to Kelly. Nice catch. And he's battered around like a pinball. Roger Williams hit him first, but he held on.
And the good thing about that play is the fact that you give your punter a little bit of room. You know, you don't pick up the first down, but you do give your punter, Mainers, a little breathing room back there. It's a longer snap, and he's not with his feet at the back of the end zone.
Colin Leonard had the bad snap the last time that led to a safety. Perfect snap this time.
Low kick, though, returnable.
There goes at least 15 yards for Kendrick Taylor, make it 20. I'm sorry, Preston Parker. Go to Holly Rowe.
Guys, the mood here on this Florida State sideline has shifted dramatically just in the last few minutes. Bobby Bowden just came along the line and spoke to every one of his offensive starters that were sitting on the bench. He said, guys, we just have to get this one, and we're right back in it. Then Drew Weatherford, as fired up as I've seen him all game, ran down, talked to the receivers, talked to the offensive line,
nowhere to go on the outside. Smothered. Philip Merlin was waiting for him.
Well, this is gut check time for both teams. I mean, this is gut check for Florida State. Drew Weatherford, the offensive line, if they could score a touchdown, it's a one-score game. For Clemson, you've played beautifully all evening on defense. You've carried the game. Hey, it's time to step up again. This thing is slipping through your fingers a little bit. You guys need to reassert yourself.
2nd and 12. Weatherford goes to the shotgun. Smith is the running back. Weatherford with time, throws over the middle, and it's dropped. Right in the hands of Dakota Fagg.
And he had room to run if he holds on to that, too. He was covered by a linebacker in the middle of the field. And if Dakota Fagg hangs on to this, he splits the defense and gets a first down.
Good throw by Weatherford right there. Now 3rd and 12.
They got to get out of the huddle. They're going to be down to inside of 10 seconds, and they don't want to waste any more timeouts.
Weatherford has not looked at the clock yet. Now he sees it. Tells him to hurry up. They do. Weatherford with the screen. It's the tight end, Charlie Graham.
They don't get the first down, but this is a nice call. Anticipating blitz, the pressure came. They ran a little tight end screen right in the spot that was vacated by the blitzers and came up a hair short.
Now you've got a chance to go for the first down. Your other alternative would be like a 42-yard field goal try, but that would only get you within 10. Right. What's the call Jimbo Fisher wants to make? It's his offense.
They got to call timeout. They took too much time getting the play in, and they've had to use their 2nd timeout. But I'd rather use it here on 4th down than having to waste it the down before on 3rd.
When we come back, maybe the play of the game, 4th and 3.
My brother calls me Murphy's Law. Oh!
On September 21st, falling in love with her is easy.
Cam's the one, man.
Not getting hurt could be a problem.
Sorry.
Good luck, Chuck. Rated R. September 21st.
Taco Bell's new Grande Quesadilla. Thick panadero bread loaded with carne asada steak and 3 melted cheeses makes this one truly grande. To get a more filling quesadilla, think outside the bun.
There's a moment at night when all you want is fourth meal. Melty, crunchy, spicy, and grilled.
Hey, what's wrong? Joe's athlete's foot. It's brutal.
Ah, show him the new stuff.
It's new Lamisil Gel Advanced. Cures athlete's foot with half the treatments. Half the treatments?
Half the treatments, all the cure.
Bye, hon. Find us a good one.
Bye.
With 2 million vehicle listings to choose from on Cars.com, you can find the right car for you.
There it is.
Find the right car for you. Cars.com.
This garage floor looks beautiful. Epoxy shield, right?
Yeah.
It looks like a professional did it.
Oh, no. He's home.
Scott, Liz, you really don't have to stare at my garage floor every day. You can do it yourself. I did. It's easy.
Do it right the first time and create the ultimate garage floor with Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield, America's best-selling premium garage floor coating.
Hey, can you hit the button?
Florida State had to burn another timeout. They only have one left. More importantly, they face a 4th and 3. Weatherford in the gun. 3-man rush. Throws on the run, got Carr, first down. To the 16-yard line. The speedster stopped short, and Weatherford found it.
Well, you said a three-man rush, so 5 should block 3, and they did. And Drew Weatherford bought himself a little time and a better throwing lane, vision-wise. Rolled to the outside and made a nice throw to Greg Carr, who's been very quiet tonight. But that, a very big catch for the Florida State team.
Carr averaged 18.2 a year ago.
I think you go back to 6 here and see if he can do something running it.
Anton Smith hit at the line of scrimmage, spins forward for a couple. Sapp and Lewis made the tackle.
You mentioned earlier that Florida State likes to throw that ball up high to Greg Carr. This is the closest they've been for an opportunity to do that. However, that is one thing that Vic Koenig really worked with his defensive backs. He said for 10 days straight, up until just a couple days ago, 5 minutes a day, they just worked on those jump balls against tall receivers. Let's see what Florida State does here.
Carr has 21 touchdown catches in his career. Weatherford underneath throws the short route to Dakota Fagg. Fagg pushed out of bounds as he reached the 10-yard line. Stops the clock with 11:47 to go.
Did a nice job of making one guy miss. I mean, that looked like Cresden Butler was going to wrap that up for no gain or maybe even a loss. And Dakota Fagg, with that strong body, did a nice job breaking one tackle and turning it into a positive game. A very manageable 3rd down and 5 right now for Drew Weatherford.
Well, they do have some big receivers. Fagg 6'3", 215. Carr is 6'6", 215.
Boy, they're really down on that play clock again. Here they are inside of 5 seconds.
Very risky.
Rush it. They're not going to get it off. That's terrible. It's 3rd and 5, and now they go back to 3rd and 10 because they can't get the snap.
That's on the freshman center, Ryan McMahon, because the quarterback, Weatherford, is trying to get him to snap the ball. He's a true freshman.
True. But it's also on the quarterback or on the whole system of getting the play call, because they're in that situation where they've got to rush the whole thing at the line of scrimmage. You got to get out of the huddle quicker so you don't have to rush at the line of scrimmage.
And it's tough to criticize McMahon, who was a freshman playing that position.
Right.
I mean, he's trying to make all the line calls. So now 3rd and 10, tougher down, tougher distance. 4-man rush. Good protection. Weatherford to the end zone. Touchdown. Richard Goodman with his first catch of the night. What a nice throw by Weatherford. And look at this. All of a sudden, the Seminoles are right back in this game. That's hard to believe. Goodman never started a ball game for Florida State. He was having a brilliant spring, averaging better than 30 yards a catch. Weatherford 8 out of 10 on the drive, 78 yards, and the touchdown pass, 24-18.
More bars in more places. That's what you can expect from the new AT&T, the largest digital voice and data network in America. So switch to the network you can trust. AT&T, your world delivered.
College
football lives here. And to see it all, you need the ESPN Game Plan pay-per-view package. With key matchups and rivalries from major conferences, you'll get up to 12 extra games every Saturday. Order now, and you'll be all set for a full season of great college football with ESPN Game Plan, presented by Olivia.
Wow digital customers, call now to order ESPN Game Plan.
Your friends are always giving you advice. Now it's time to give them some. Introduce your friends to WOW. Go to wowway.com and click on WOW a Friend. You'll save $25 for each one that signs up. They'll save $25 off a future bill and get the same great WOW service you do. So take our advice. WOW a Friend at wowway.com. We're sure they'll find a way to say thanks.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Corona and Corona Light, official sponsors of the Timeout. Relax responsibly. And ESPN Game Plan. See the most college football every Saturday. To order, call your pay-per-view provider. ESPN Game Plan lives here.
That's the SO Club, one of the great watering holes in the South here on campus at Clemson, where you can either get regular or extra. 24-18. It was 24-3 in the last 5:51. FSU has a safety and 2 touchdowns. It has been a remarkable turnaround of momentum, and now they are within 6. The crowd is stunned.
I'm stunned.
I'm stunned. Two of the best Clemson has to offer are deep. Ford and Spiller. Spiller from the goal line. You get a chance to tackle him, you better take it.
Go back to the touchdown on 3rd and 10. Clemson showed a 2 deep, which means they had 2 safeties. Now Richard Goodman is going to slip into the middle of the field, and he slips right in behind the linebackers, in between the safeties, and scores the touchdown. That was a well-called play at right time by Jimbo Fisher, and Goodman was able to split right down the middle, and Weatherford found it.
If you're Clemson on offense right now, what are you looking to do?
Well, you got to get some momentum back. I mean, you got to go to your horse. I think number 1 is your horse right now. You got to give him the football, and you can't be afraid to let Cullen Harper throw it if they crowd the line of scrimmage. You've got to get momentum back on the offensive side of the ball.
2 tight ends. They'll give it to Davis, and Davis hitting the backfield. There's a flag down as well. He'll lose yardage, and Bud Thacker was in there to make the tackle for the Seminoles. And Clemson now starting to make the same kind of mistakes that got Florida State in so much trouble in the first half.
That's exactly right.
Barry Humphries, the center, called for holding.
It's the second time he's gotten called for holding.
71 offense. So take you off from the previous spot. We'll replay the down.
So they'll back him up and take 1st and 20. And if you're Tommy Bowden, you're trying to think of anything that gives you a little edge here. Even a first down would be big. And the Seminoles look totally different, don't they?
Yep, they sure do.
It's like they switched uniforms. Harper in the shotgun. 3-man rush. They drop 8. Harper throws underneath to Davis, and Davis will only get to the 19-yard line. Michael Ray Garvin, another track All-American, and the boundary corner for the Seminoles, made that tackle. And Drew Weatherford trying to pump up the troops. He's had a big second half.
What I like about Drew Weatherford is he never showed signs of losing his confidence, even though they were struggling in the first half. He never showed like it was getting away from him.
Harper wants another screen. completes this one to Kelly. Aaron Kelly slips a tackle, gets out to the 34-yard line. That's only a couple yards shy of a first down.
That's a great effort by Kelly, because that play was read by Florida State. They saw it coming. They reacted to it. The linemen, watch how quickly the linemen read it and get back out to chase the ball. But Kelly did a nice job of breaking a couple tackles and getting that ball forward close to the first down.
Third and 3, empty backfield. Harper back to throw, throws to Kelly, and Kelly takes it at the 39 for a first down. Nice throw. Michael Ray Garvin had to make the tackle, and I was really surprised that they told Florida State they were going to throw with an empty backfield.
Well, they got what they wanted. They got their 6'5" receiver against 5'8", 180-pound Michael Ray Garvin, and he just used that big body to shield the defender from the ball.
Kelly, 5 catches, 98 yards. Here's Spiller looking for a block. Unfortunately, he was looking at Cullen Harper, and Harper was in no hurry to get in front of him and level somebody. And one of the Seminoles is down. And it looks just like an equipment issue right now.
I think Big Andre Llewellyn is also trying to get a little breather there. He's tying his shoe, but I think he's also trying to get a little breather.
Trying to find a little oxygen out there on a hot and humid night.
You know, the thing about it, it has been, and it's always hot in the South, obviously, in August, but I think in both Florida and South Carolina, it's been a particularly hot summer.
Yeah.
Both these teams are used to training and going to camp and two-a-days and all of that in this kind of weather. I mean, it's different for us coming from different parts of the country and spending a couple days down here. But for these guys, this is kind of the normal way to play football at this time of year.
2nd and 3. Spiller. Got a half-yard shy of a first down at the 49-yard line. Let's go to Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, you're talking about the heat, and it has definitely been a factor. We've already seen 2 Clemson players, Jacoby Ford and C.J. Spiller, have to go to the locker room. And, guys, C.J. Spiller is not 100%. You can see him right now as he's kind of limping out. He is tight, he's cramping, and he is not feeling it right now. Also, Florida State, 4 different times I've seen guys run over and have to get stretched out. It's definitely a factor right now as this thing winds down.
And really, for a lot of these guys cramping now, there's not going to be anything they can do about it. They're going to have cramps for the rest of the game on and off. 3rd, less than a yard.
3rd time that's happened.
Flag is down. This could be a hold on the tight end Linthicum as they go for Davis on the toss. Or is it offside Florida State? Yeah. It is.
I think for the 3rd time on a 3rd and short, they went with a longer count. They had motion and some shifting, and I think they got Florida State to jump off sides again.
Guyan may have been the guy that moved early.
Offside, 93 defense. The penalty is declined. The result of the game is a first down.
You know, a lot of times you're thinking 3rd and 1, they're going to snap it quick. Well, they shift. They shift 2 guys. Now they bring a tight end in motion. This all takes longer time at the line of scrimmage, and they just got impatient. They're in that stance. They want to fire off the ball, and they give them the easy 5 yards.
Clemson is getting close to field goal range, and a field goal would put them up by 2 scores. It would be huge at this point. Spiller. Flag is down again, and so is Spiller at the 39-yard line. Well, you just got to hold your breath every time C.J. Spiller gets the football. Likes that little stutter step where he stops, and if he gets the other guy to stop with him, he's the one with the quicker restart.
Holy 67 offense. That's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Christian Capote, the right tackle.
Trying to get this ball outside with the speed of Spiller, and watch 67 as he's reaching out there. Right there's the hold. Gets his hands on the outside, and an easy call for the official.
Nefi Moffett was the guy that was wrapped up. 5th Clemson penalty in this half. They only incurred 1 in the first half of play. And that's Tyler Grisham, the junior wide receiver from Birmingham. Made a couple of catches tonight. Spiller right now is carrying the load at running back. We haven't seen James Davis on this series. Of course, they still have plays in here, obviously, for a one-back offense, but they have used too extensively. Again, the pass complete to Grisham. He's within 3 yards of the first down. Not only has this gotten momentum back for Clemson, but it's burning the clock. We're down to 7 minutes and 18 seconds, and that's to the Tigers' advantage.
And it's been pretty aggressive. I mean, that's the thing. The way to get the momentum back is you can't be conservative. And Rob Spence, Tommy Bowden, they've decided to be a little bit more aggressive with their quarterback, with their play calling. Now we have Davis and Spiller in. Here comes the quarterback back to the shotgun. This is different. We haven't seen this. He shifted from wide receiver back to quarterback.
Harper with time. Kelly never saw it. Kelly was open, had a step on Tony Carter, and it looked like Cullen Harper threw a beautiful pass. Kelly just never saw the ball.
Well, it was a two-man round. Kelly was working on Carter, and you also had C.J. Spiller working on a defensive back. I think Spiller might have been open too. But Aaron Kelly, I think he was looking back to see why there wasn't a penalty called, and he never found the football.
Well, you can't go woofing at the referee in the middle of the play. And now they'll have to punt it. Not close enough to have a shot at a field goal. Mainers to kick to Parker. And what a bounce. What a bounce. The ball got right to the goal line and then made a U and went back the other way. A 35-yard kick out of bounds at the 4.
And when this thing hit, I thought for sure it was going to just bounce into the end zone. I'm thinking, how do you kick it right to the end zone? But it did. It took a direct left. Wow, that's beautiful. Exactly what the doctor ordered for Clemson.
Kickers love that stuff. Clemson took 5:09 off the clock. Now the Seminoles probably looking at a last chance drive here with 6.5 minutes to go, and Weatherford has to throw it away. Carr was in the vicinity, but Weatherford was under pressure.
Philip Merling, number 94, with the pressure. He's had a pretty good ball game tonight. Both these ends, Philip Merling more a natural defensive end, Ricky Sapp and Kevin Alexander playing what they call the bandit end here in the Clemson defense, a position that Gaines Adams played last year so well.
And Scott and Jackson, the starting tackles, have been pretty good too. They've really limited Anton Smith. 96 yards away from taking the lead. Weatherford under pressure. Down at the 6. When you take that short drop, Todd, if you don't find that receiver right away, you're in trouble.
And he did the only thing you can do. If you don't see it, you better just tuck it and go straight up the middle. Get what you can get. Don't lose yardage. Don't take a sack, and don't throw it into coverage.
Gaines Adams, the 4th overall draft choice in the NFL draft this year, imploring his defensive teammates to make a stand. 3rd and 8. Weatherford incomplete. Should have been caught by Dakota Fagg. That's a couple of drops for him tonight, but it looked like he would have been well shy of the first down anyway.
Well, the ball was thrown behind him. If it's thrown on his outside shoulder, he might catch it and turn upfield and maybe get it. But because he had to slow down and reach back, even if he catches it, there's no way he makes the first down. And that's not a very good throw by Drew Weatherford on the wrong shoulder of the intended receiver.
So 5:41 to go in the ball game. Clemson will get the ball back, already leading 24-18. Gano to kick it away. Ford and Spiller inside the 50. Spiller at midfield. And goes down at the 43-yard line, 7-yard return. Next week, Monday Night Football returns to ESPN and kicks off with the doubleheader. First at 7 Eastern, the Ravens take on the Bengals. Then at 10:15, the Cardinals meet the 49ers. Don't miss the return of Monday Night Football on ESPN. That's next Monday night, a doubleheader for you. Clemson. Couple of first downs. They're within field goal territory and a chance to ice this one. Florida State, if it comes down to this, would only be able to stop the clock once. They've already used 2 of their timeouts in this half. Davis is back in as the tailback. He'll get the carry. Off right tackle to the 41-yard line. Derek Nicholson, the middle linebacker, made the tackle, who missed last year with a torn ACL. That entire linebacking core for the Seminoles devastated by injuries. And the clock now becoming Clemson's best friend. 4 minutes, 59 seconds and counting. Harper looks to the sideline. Play clock at 3.
Well, they called a timeout from the sideline. Cullen Harper got that play off before the play clock.
He got it off. It looked like 1. I don't think the coaching staff thought he was going to make it.
Yep.
Called the timeout. That's their second with 4:47 left.
Yesterday is history. Today is what matters.
Start today with the world's most comfortable shave. Gillette Fusion Power. Turn it on. Soothing micropulses help you reduce friction. You'll barely feel the blades.
The best a man can get. Critics everywhere agree.
Someone will bring him to justice.
3:10 to Yuma is a masterpiece. The best Western since Unforgiven. Russell Crowe, Christian Bale.
Laugh while you can.
3:10 to Yuma. Rated R. In theaters everywhere Friday.
Great views of Clemson and Memorial Stadium tonight, courtesy of our friends at Outback Steakhouse, proud sponsor of the Outback Bowl. Outback Steakhouse provides aerial coverage for sporting events across the country throughout the entire year.
James Davis back in there now. He was rested on the last possession, and this is where they need him to tote the rock right here. This series.
Instead, they go out on a little swing pass to the sideline to Jacoby Ford. Fortunately, Ford stayed in bounds for Clemson and keeps the clock going. Myron Roll took him down.
Since Florida State and Clemson started playing each other regularly in 1992, There's only been one Clemson running back that's gained over 100 yards against Florida State's defense. That was Raymond Priester in 1995, gained 111. Right now, James Davis, I think, is what, 3 or 4 yards short? 3 yards short of 100 on 17 carries.
Spiller is in there now, so he's not going to get it on this play on 3rd and 7. Harper on the roll, throws, and incomplete. Grisham had a tough time finding the ball, and it may have been over the wrong shoulder, and he could not make the catch. So that stops the clock with 3:57 to go. So Clemson, 2 possessions in a row, has been almost close enough to try a field goal, but not quite close enough, and Florida State is still alive.
Well, last time, Mainers with the beautiful punt. I think Florida State's got to try to come after this punt. Put some pressure on him. Maybe he cause a shank if he sees too many white shirts in there. Don't let him drop one inside the 10 again.
Mainers, all he wanted to do was get it out of there. Didn't matter where it went, end zone or not. He did his job. Here's Reese Davis of SportsCenter 30 and 30.
All right, Mike, Pedro Martinez coming back from his shoulder problem. Season debut was a good one. Got a win, recorded his 3,000th career strikeout. Went 5, did give up 10 hits, but only 2 earned runs as the Mets beat Cincinnati 10-4. Some golf now. Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods duel at the Deutsche Bank, and lefty wins it by a couple. He now leads the FedEx Cup standings. SportsCenter coming up in a few minutes after the game. Stay current with ESPN News.
3 minutes and 50 seconds to go in this game. The Seminoles are down by 6. They have been dominated most of the night, but have fought their way back in it. Weatherford on the run, goes out to Smith, shakes a tackler, 40, 45, 48-yard line. Anton Smith.
Great job by Drew Weatherford. This is not an easy throw because he stepped up in the pocket and threw out across his body. Smith is going to release to the left flat. Watch Weatherford just see him out of the corner of his eye, and as he's moving forward, flip that ball out to his left, and Anton Smith makes a big play out in space.
It is hard to imagine a momentum shift any greater than we have seen in this game. 3-man rush. Weatherford with time. Smith again.
And you know
Clemson 45 to the 43 and out of bounds.
Where it all starts for Florida State. I mean, Weatherford has picked up his game. Anton Smith has picked up his game. But it starts with the offensive line. They were maligned that first half. They couldn't block people. They couldn't protect. They looked confused. They don't look like the same offensive line in this second half. They're still young. There's still 2 freshmen and a sophomore. But they look better. They look more confident.
Weatherford in this half, 10 out of 14 for 115 yards. 2nd and 1. They have plenty of time. They've got the first down and more with Smith. Here's Holly Rowe.
You guys are talking about the difference in that offensive line for Florida State in the first and second half. It's been a dramatic change of demeanor for their coach, Rick Trickett, as well. First half, he was the kind, gentle teacher, really communicating. And so the second half, it's the fiery coach I'm used to seeing. He's had the hat off. He's got the up in their face, really feisty. You can almost get the feeling that he has sensed their growth and that they need it a little bit more in your face right now.
I think you're dead on it, Holly.
Whatever gets it done. Weatherford in the shotgun. Good protection, has this one batted down right in his face. Was DeAndre McDaniel, the nickelback. All I can think of right now is if Clemson should lose this ball game after the command they had, this would be a devastating start to their season.
That wasn't a very good job by Anton Smith. That's his responsibility on the block. And McDaniel just kind of got around him and got right into the face of the quarterback. That shouldn't have been a tip ball. Anton Smith does his job. Drew Weatherford throws it down the field.
2nd and 10, 2:40 to go. 4 wide receivers and Smith a single setback. Weatherford for the end zone and overthrown. Intended for Dakota Fagg, but he was well covered. Stride for stride with him was Chris Clemons.
Right now, if you're Drew Weatherford, if you're thinking if this is 4-down territory on this 3rd and 10, you don't have to get it all necessarily in one play, but you better get something. You don't want to take another shot like that down towards the end zone if you don't have a wide open guy. Get something that you can pick up on 4th down if you don't make it on 3rd.
Clemson showing blitz, and here they come. Weatherford hit from behind and drilled. DeAndre McDaniel was coming off the corner. They timed this beautifully.
Here they come, right here off the edge. And this time it is a blitz. I mean, there are extra guys. Anton Smith blocks his guy, but that leaves one unblocked guy outside, DeAndre McDaniel. And he gets in there and puts a shot on Drew Weatherford.
Alexander finished up. It is 4th and 10. 83,000 on their feet. Weatherford hit from behind and taken down. Philip Merling, big number 94. Got him from behind. What a stand by the Clemson defense. I mean, they've really been pushed to the wall.
Here's Philip Merling right now. He's going to rush upfield, and as the quarterback steps up, he'll come off the block and make the sack. That's pretty tough for a tackle, Deron Rose, to block him, but a good effort by Philip Merling.
No, he did hit. Rose did his job.
Yes, he did.
He can't tell where that quarterback is going, but he was where he was supposed to be in that pocket. And now Clemson will go to work on the ground. Remember, Florida State has that one timeout left. They're trying to strip the ball. The clock just winding away down to 2:06. Play clock at 15 right now. They'll use every second they can. Spiller made one guy whiff.
You know one of the things I like about Cullen Harper, and again, his stats tonight aren't all that impressive, but I like his presence. He looks like a quarterback. He understands how to play the position. Just doing that, like you mentioned with the clock, running the clock down. Cullen Harper gets it. He knows how to play quarterback.
Well, he said one of his strengths is having a good presence and understanding the game. This Bowden Bowl in 1991, Travis Minor had a touchdown run, and the Seminoles really dominated this thing early, 17-14 in the first one. In the second one, they really lumped Clemson. It was 54-7. Chris Winkie had a 98-yard touchdown pass in that game to Snoop Minnis. Bowden Bowl 5, Charlie Whitehurst, 58 yards to Derek Hamilton. Clemson won it 26-10, and last year in Bowden Bowl 8, Clemson won it 27-20 in Tallahassee. In fact, they've won 3 of the last 4, and if they can win tonight, they will have won 4 of the last 5.
I think you mentioned earlier in the broadcast that Cullen Harper has a chance to do something no other Clemson quarterback has done, and that's beat a ranked team in his first start. The last 2 that had a chance, Willie Simmons in 2002 lost to Georgia, and Brandon Streeter lost to Florida State in 1997.
3rd and 8, they would have to punt it away if they don't get a first down here, and they will not, as Davis takes it up across the 40. So they're going to have to give the ball up maybe 45 seconds to go. We'll tell you when the play clock starts again. Down to 1:12. Play clock still sitting at 25.
I'm not so sure that Clemson, they may use their last time out here. They might let the clock go all the way down and use as much time as they can. and call timeout, or just take a penalty and kick it from a little deeper.
They would have to snap it at 42 or use the timeout. Tommy Bowden over there with the linesman. And he wanted to get it down to 0 on the play clock. Called time at 40 seconds to go. Here's what the Tigers would be looking at the rest of their schedule. This would be a great start for them. Then they go Louisiana Monroe, Furman, and NC State, 3 games that they would be favored in. And then what would be a real showdown with Georgia Tech, then Virginia Tech, back-to-back weeks. So that's a tough little stretch there. Wake Forest, Boston College, and South Carolina would be 3 tough games to conclude the season. And the Seminoles, highly unusual for them to have very few home games this year, and they have a couple of brutal stretches here.
Well, they have 7 games away from Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. They've got 1 game with Alabama that's in Jacksonville right here. That's away. And then look how they finish in the month of November. At Boston College, at Virginia Tech, and at Florida. 3 of the last 4 weeks of the season. That is going to be a very difficult schedule for the Seminoles.
And this is an ACC divisional game. Florida State with 10 guys on the line of scrimmage. They'll be coming after Jimmy Mainers, it looks like. Again, his job is just to kick it, not get it stuffed. Mainers gets it out. Parker on the return. Broke 1 tackle, takes it out to the 39-yard line. 16-yard return. Florida State has no way to stop the clock unless it's an incomplete pass or getting out of bounds, and they only have 29 seconds left. A tall order for the Seminoles. Down by 6. Clemson is hanging on by its fingernails after dominating this game early. Weatherford hit from behind and taken down by Jock McKissick. Big number 50 chased him down, got him around the ankles.
And that's the one thing that Drew Weatherford could not do was take a sack. No timeouts. He's got to throw that ball away. He can't afford to get tackled with no timeouts and the clock running.
Now he's down to maybe 2 plays. If they can complete it and get out of bounds.
I've seen prevent defenses, and then I've seen what I'm seeing right now. This is something different. This is
got
4
a safety
guys on the line.
Got a safety back in the 19-yard line.
Yeah, you got 6 around the ball, and you got 5 about 35 yards down the field.
Get the feeling Weatherford may throw this as long as he can if he has a chance. Sideline, caught, knocked away. Goodman made the catch, then lost the ball when it was hit, and that's it. Clemson has knocked off Florida State in the 9th Bowden Bowl. Now they are going to review the previous play.
Look at all the kids running back off the field. They all ran on, and they're all running off.
Looks like they're attached to bungee cords.
Orderly students here at
Aren't
Clemson.
they? I've never seen that much discipline.
Here's the throw on the sideline to Goodman. Catch.
That's pretty close, actually. Now, the goalposts have already been not torn down. They have been put down mechanically. So they'd have to reverse. That's a catch.
I know.
Don't you think?
I thought it was.
Goodman had it, and Byron Maxwell put his helmet right on the ball.
The only thing I'm wondering is if his left foot came down before his right foot. His left foot looked like it might have been on the sideline. The right foot was inbounds. The left foot looked to be on the sideline.
Now they can lower those goalposts mechanically This is like the tide going in and out with the student section. Does he make the catch?
Okay,
Right foot was down
first.
Ball's knocked away. To me, that looks like a catch.
Yeah, it looks like a catch to me, too.
But the ball hit inbounds, then rolled out of bounds. There may be an issue of whether he stepped out of bounds before the ball came loose. If that was the case, it would be dead at that point.
The right foot hit first inbounds. The left foot appeared to hit out of bounds.
If that was before the fumble, the clock would have stopped. There still would have been time left. Here's the decision.
After review, replay confirms the call on the field that the pass was incomplete. The game is over.
Very, very close call. The key there must have been the fact that it was called incomplete on the field, and you have to have, you know, the evidence to overturn it. There wasn't enough, was their ruling. And now the fans can finally come on the field and stay there. Let's go to Holly Rowe. Holly?
With 11:40 left in this game, they pulled within 6. What were you thinking?
We're finding ways to give it away. It looks like we were self-destructing. Then we finally made a play.
You talked to your guys about finishing the job. What does it tell you that they were able to do that tonight?
Well, I just thought that I thought the players played hard there at the end. Both teams were tired. Both teams had a lot of injuries, but everybody we put in kept playing hard.
I know tonight he's the opponent, but what does it mean for you to have your dad just then tell you wonderful job?
Well, it doesn't happen often.
All right, congratulations. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. The final score here at Clemson, the Tigers 24, Florida State 18. Sports Center coming up next over on ESPN News. It's Postgame Extra. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Glad you could join us on this Labor Day night. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. For Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Clemson, South Carolina.
Phil got off to a great start, then, you know, we all had to go get Phil.
This is Sports Center.
Pedro Martinez returns to the Mets. Just how amazing was he? Greg Maddux pitching for first place. Roger Clemens suddenly set to undergo an MRI on his elbow. From Bowden Bowl 9 to Week 1's top 10 plays, we celebrate a stunning start to the college football season.
Look at this guy, the Wizard of Return. Oh, baby.
But on the first tee, Tiger and Phil do battle in a nail-biting final round shootout. You see for yourself here on Sports Center.
One of the worst calls you'll ever see.
Hi, welcome to Sports Center. I'm Stan Verrett along with John Anderson. The last 10 years when it's been Woods versus Mickelson for anything meaningful, we all know what has happened. But this weekend, a crazy weekend when upstart Mountaineers are beating Wolverines, well, a lefty had a chance against the Tiger.
He does. The FedEx Cup might not put a lump in your throat like a major, but when Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods get paired up, it feels, you know, like something you'll remember a long time after you've forgotten a lot of the other things in sports happening. Final round of the Deutsche Bank, an event that most folks considered an event. A lot of the aura coming from the second to last pairing. Fifth hole. Phil Mickelson, second shot from 167 yards. That was luscious. He'd make a birdie there to get to 14 under. He started 2 back. Sixth hole. Tiger a little angry here with the group.
Not in my swing. Come on.
Somebody probably clicking a camera, something, whatever it was. Woody didn't like that. Second shot would end up on the fringe there. He would save par and stay at 11 under. 10th hole, Mickelson putting for bird again. Mickelson, shiny button. Through 10 holes, Mickelson was 16 under, Tiger 11 under. So he's got a 5-stroke lead, 8 to play. We can just walk this baby home, right? Overnight leader, Brett Wederick, there he is, and yeah, he putted like a yak. The guy didn't make a birdie until the 16th. Shot 1 under 70, finished tied for second at 14 under. Par 4 12. Looks like Phil might be starting to cave a bit. The boat is listing. We're taking on some water from the middle of the fairway. Oh, we're into the hazard. Not good. We're going to need a drop from there. Ian Bones decide that's the place to be. Well, clanker off the flagstick. Not so bad, but leaves himself an 8-footer. Missed that putt, so 2 scoops there, a double drops him to 14 under. 14th hole, Tiger. First 13 holes, didn't make a thing. Longest putt he had made was from 6 feet on the 3rd hole. Finally, from 40. Can I get a fist pump, please? 12 under, 2 shots back. On the 15th, Tiger from the fringe. Tiger, Monday he had 31 putts. Where's the difference? Phil had 23 on 16. Tiger, this one he finally coaxed home. 10-footer, 13 under, so he's within 1 stroke of the lead. But Phil on the same hole had also stuffed his approach shot. 6-footer, he makes it back to a 2-strike cushion over Tiger as we go to the final hole, 18th par 5, so a lot of things can happen out there. Par 5, 18th, Phil actually over the green in 2, and this was just such soft touch. Phil, killer short game, brought it all week. Didn't miss many greens. When he did, he certainly got up and down. Gives him about a 5-footer. Tiger, meanwhile, on the green in 2, staring down an eagle putt. Makes this. He forces Phil to make his. And Tiger said he had trouble with the speed of the greens, speed of his putts all week long. Tap it in, 14 under. Phil is safe. Go ahead and knock that in. He didn't miss from inside of 5 feet all week. 16 under, final round 66 to take a 2-stroke lead. One man in the field can beat him. Aaron Oberholzer, 2 strokes down, chipping from about where Phil was on 18. If that goes in, we got a tie, we got extra holes. It's not happened. Oh, the onion blossom, no. So Phil wins, Tiger, Oberholzer, Wederick, 2 back. So Mickelson wins. He saw the Red Sox no-hitter. He fished with 41 in Maine. That, my friends, is a good week. And then he's got kids, of course, who look like they could come right out of a picture frame. There you see Mickelson, his 32nd career win, only the 2nd one he's ever had after August. So into September usually shuts it down, you know, around football season. And then he said he may not go to the next event, which is at Cog Hill in Chicago. Apparently he's a bit cheesed off with the commissioner. He would not elaborate on that. Tiger now moves up to 3rd in the FedEx Cup standings. Mickelson takes over the lead.
I love this finish. I loved being able to play 3 rounds with the best player of arguably all time, but certainly best player in the world today. And to be able to come out on top feels great, and that just leads to excitement for the coming year. 08 is when our next major is, and so that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
We've been talking about how it's been kind of dead this year, you know, with the excitement level. Here it's been pretty rowdy, so it's nice to see some atmosphere out there. You know, we were playing well today in the same group. The guys behind us were playing well, so I think a lot of good scores all around.
Yeah, Tiger didn't exactly play poorly, just didn't putt it great. This was the 19th time Phil and Tiger have played together on the PGA Tour, 3rd time this week. Only the 6th time that Phil has had a better score, twice this week. 6th time the two have played together in the final round. It's the first time, though, Phil has won the tournament there, walking along with Tiger. In their previous 5 final rounds together, Phil watched Tiger take the trophy on 3 occasions.
All right, how about some baseball? Now, 2 teams tied atop the NL West, the Padres and the Diamondbacks. In the last 10 games, the Padres are 7-3, including 3-1 against Arizona. The Diamondbacks, meanwhile, 4-6 over their last 10 as they headed into their game on Monday. In a virtual tie, they open a 3-game series in Arizona, their final meeting this season. Micah Owens, 5 home runs allowed in 12 home starts this season, and there were more coming. Top of the first, leadoff batter is Brian Giles. Let's get this party started right. Let's get this party started quickly. His 9th of the season, Padres up 1-0. Top of the 2nd, 1 on for Jeff Blum. And he's taking Owens out of the yard again. 2-run shot, his 4th home run of the season. Padres up 3-0. Top 3rd, Giles, Owens, back for more. 2nd of the game, 10th of the season. Padres up 4-0. Later in the inning, Adrian Gonzalez says, I'd like some of that. his 25th of the season. Padres go up 5-0. Owings gave up 4 home runs in 3 innings. Padres hit 5 in all in the game. Bottom third, Owings coming up to bat, and the Diamondbacks have pitcher Yusmeiro Petit warming up in the bullpen. So why would you let the pitcher bat if you know you're going to take him out? Well, Owings, 280 batting average and 4 home runs this season.
Big stick.
And look at him doing work on Greg Maddux. Down the line, Owings into second with a double. But the next batter is Chris Young, and Maddux gets him on the ground out. Maddux hasn't allowed a walk in 49 1/3. Didn't allow Orlando Hudson to have anything either. Maddux, 6 1/3, 5 Ks, 2 earned runs. Padres going to win at 10-2. Here's what he said after the game.
We scored first for a change, you know, and that helped. And, you know, then we kept scoring, so it kind of shuts down the running game a little bit. And, you know, just runs, you know, make you look good as a pitcher.
It's a sprint now to the end, and we still want to continue to try to win series, and the first game of a series is always big.
First win ever for Maddux in Arizona. Dodgers got him for the stretch run last season. He was pretty good, going 6-3 with a 3.30 ERA. Maddux has been even better for the Padres. He's 4-1 with a 2.44 ERA since August 1st, and he has 26 strikeouts. And again, that walk streak, he hasn't walked a batter since July 28th against the Astros. Much more baseball coming up inside SportsCenter. Another veteran pitcher returns. Pedro Martinez enjoying a career milestone in his return. Meanwhile, bad news in the Bronx, the latest on a possible elbow injury for Roger Clemens. Bowden Bowl 9, all about a big lead and a rally by dear old dad. Plus, don't miss the top 10 plays from a historic start to the college football season. And is the AFC North the Steelers division to lose? And are the Bears still the best team in the North division? Keep it right here to find out.
Hey, Kevin. What do you think about my Domino's Oreo dessert pizza mustache?
It's super chocolatey.
Right on, Kevin. Right on.
Domino's new warm and chocolatey Oreo dessert pizza. Just $3.99 with any purchase. Call or order online.
We could have put strange things in our beer, but we didn't. Beck's, choosing to use only 4 all-natural ingredients for over 125 years.
SportsCenter, brought to you by Chevy, an American Revolution.
Hard to believe this is already the 9th Bowden Bowl. Bobby Bowden of Florida State holding a 5-3 edge over Tommy Bowden and Clemson. First quarter, Clemson up 7-0. James Davis going to cut back inside for the touchdown. Davis ran for 102 yards, combined with his backfield mate C.J. Spiller to go for 150. And Clemson busted out the gate early. More from them. Their freshman quarterback, Cullen Harper, to Aaron Kelly. And Kelly will do the rest. Clemson up 21-0. Meanwhile, Florida State had 62 yards in the first half, 2 yards per play. They went 9 possessions without a first down. But they brought in Jimbo Fisher to work with Drew Weatherford and Anton Smith. And Smith taking it 49 yards. He would score on the next possession, but FSU would fail on the 2-point conversion. Fourth quarter, Florida State down 24-11, going for it on 4th and 3. Here's Weatherford. Big-time play to Greg Carr to get the first down. Later in the drive, 3rd and 10. Weatherford to Richard Goodman for the touchdown. All of a sudden, it's a ball game. After that miserable first half, the Noles within 6. Later in the fourth, still down 24-18, DeAndre McDaniel and Kevin Alexander come up with the sack. 4th and 10, Weatherford sacked again by Philip Merling. And Clemson able to recover the football, dadgummit. And the Tigers going to beat the Noles 24-18. Clemson 7-1 last year out the gate, and they start quickly again this season. So Bobby's had his struggles with his son Tommy lately. The Bowden Bowl has produced 4 losses in the previous 5 for Daddy. The most notable difference in FSU's total yards recently is their troubles on that side of the ball have been in the spotlight the last few years. Remember, they got rid of Jeff Bowden, who was Bobby's son, replaced him with Jimbo Fisher, brought in Rick Trickett to coach the offensive line from West Virginia, but didn't make a difference in this one. And in case you missed it, and even if you didn't, we celebrate a terrific start to the college football season by counting down Week 1's top 10 plays coming up a little bit later on SportsCenter, and you don't want to miss that.
Mets Reds, and why, yes, that is Pedro Martinez. Pedro pitching for the first time since major shoulder surgery last October. Talk about a nice late season edition, huh, Willie Randolph? What do you like?
He had a guy like Pedro's magnitude is tremendous, and it's got to be a lift, but the lift really comes from pitching well.
All right, well, let's see if you can pitch well. Bottom first, he's actually in some soup. Runners on second and third. And Griffey Jr. flies to center field. Carlos Beltran throwing. Josh Hamilton home, and Ump's is safe. You give me a point, 1-0 Reds. Next batter, Brandon Phillips. Singles for left field. Alex Gonzalez will score. The Reds lead 2-0. Pedro retired the next two batters to get out of the frame, but not really a clean first inning for him. Bottom second, Pedro. Career strikeouts, 2,999. Do the math there. Aaron Harang goes down. That's 3K. 3,000 strikeouts. He's the 15th pitcher in Major League history to reach that milestone. In the third, Mets trail 2-1. David Wright. Girls think he's yummy. Two-run homer, strong. Mets take a 3-2 lead. It's the second straight day that Wright has had a go-ahead home run, 26th of the season. In the fifth, then, Mets leading 4-3. Runners on first and third, 2 outs. Adam Dunn now grounding out. So Martinez goes 5 hits, 2 earned, 4 Ks through 5. Hit a pitch limit of 75. He threw 76. Mets win 10-4. Pedro wins. Bob Holtzman on the winners.
He wasn't the 300 strikeout Pedro Martinez of 10 years ago or the 20-game winning Martinez of 5 years back, but just 11 months removed from rotator cuff surgery, even a workmanlike 76-pitch performance is satisfying.
I was able to get 5 innings in, give my team a chance to win, make it a quality outing, and at the same time, I came out healthy. It was the biggest, gift for me today.
Martinez hit 89 a few times on the ballpark radar gun. One of them was his 75th pitch, the second to last one he threw.
I felt pretty fresh, to be honest. I felt pretty fresh at the time I came out, and I wasn't hard breathing or anything like that.
You can see where he just kind of, that competitive juice just kind of took over. You can see where he was trying to feel comfortable and just kind of let it go.
After the game, Martinez described his shoulder as excellent and said he felt he could throw 75 more pitches tomorrow. But Martinez will have to be patient. He's not expected to start again until Sunday. In Cincinnati, Bob Holtzman, ESPN.
All right, Bobby. Pedro joins the 3,000 strikeout club on Labor Day. A lot of people working on Labor Day. In the process, becomes the third member of that club with more punch-outs than innings pitched. The all-time strikeout king, Nolan Ryan, had 328 more Ks than innings. So both those are huge figures, both the strikeouts and the workload. Their big unit also on the list. Pedro's pitched fewer than half the number of innings that Nolan Ryan's put in.
Hey, we're getting time and a half, baby. NL Central now. Cubs taking on the Dodgers at Wrigley. Chicago up a game and a half for the Brewers. 2 on the Cardinals to start Monday. Bottom third, Alfonso Soriano down the line off Esteban Loaiza, making his Dodgers debut. Luis Gonzalez to Rafael Furcal. Carlos Zambrano throws a little wide, but Zambrano tagged out standing up. Well, the third base coach, Mike Quaddy's like, stop, Carlos, stop, please stop. Carlos, please. But he's thrown out. So the game's still tied at 1. Very next inning, tied at 2. 30th pitch of the inning, Zambrano misses, and Loaiza with a base hit, 2-run score. And Zambrano frustrated. He can't catch a break later. The top 5, Dodgers keep the momentum. Russell Martin with a base hit. Andre Ethier scores. Zambrano yanked in the 5th. He got booed. And he said when you're struggling, that's when you want to feel the support of the fans. Wasn't happy with the support he got.
Astros Brewers, Ben Sheets first start off the DL, energized the crew for the week. Craig Counsell feeling that way. Bottom 6 were tied at 3, and Counsell ends a 10-pitch at bat with a shot to the gap. Corey Hart will score. Johnny Estrada, he is rolling home. Thank goodness it's not 95 feet between bases. 5-3, crew leads. Sheets liking that, in line maybe to get the win. Top 8 Brewers up 7-5. Greg Aquino facing Hunter Pence in the Brewer bullpen, which yesterday pitched superbly, 4 innings of scoreless relief. Gets lit up here. Pence, the bullet into the gap. Billy Hall, good effort, doesn't happen. 2 will score. Pence with the triple. Astros tie the game at 7. Aquino not the worst defender out of the bullpen Derek Turnbull, 30th inning, 3 runs scored, so 3 runs allowed. Not great there in Sheets. He's either really, mad or working on a knuckleball because he's working over the fingernails pretty good. Chris Burke, that one gets away from Estrada. Pence scores. Houston takes an 8-7 lead, go on to win it 9-7. They snap a 5-game losing streak in Milwaukee.
So the Cubs and the Brewers lose. The Cardinals with an opportunity, and they had the Pirates. St. Louis looking for its 4th straight win, 6 in a row at home. Bad start for Kit Wells. Jose Bautista solo shot, his 14th of the year, and the Pirates up 1-0 just like that. But there's more. Top third, they're up 3-0. Man on first for Freddie Sanchez. That'll be good for a double. Sanchez had 3 hits, 21 RBI in his last 16 games. Wells got booed, 3 in the third, 10 hits, and 6 runs for him. That's Bautista sliding in safely. Bottom third, 2 on 1 out, Albert Pujols to Sanchez. And watch this, the backhand flip to Jack Wilson, who tosses it to Xavier Nady for the double play. Wilson also had 4 hits. Top 4, 2 on, nobody out. Ian Snell at the plate, fakes the bunt, and then the base hit. 5-0 Pirates. Snell also threw 7 scoreless innings. Top 5, Xavier Nady leading off for Pittsburgh. Look out. Andy Cavazos right on Nady's head. Took a bruise above the left ear. He's day-to-day, didn't get a concussion. Cavazos said even he was shaken up by that. But the Pirates going to win 11-0, snapping a 5-game losing streak. So the Cardinals blow a chance. And the Cubs keep their lead despite the struggles for Zambrano. He's lost his last 5 starts. And the Cubs still holding a 1.5 lead on the Brewers. The Brewers, the only ones who had much of a chance earlier today, but they couldn't hold on to a late lead. Cards dropped back to 500 on the season, and they remain 2 games back.
Well, helping the Mariners snap a 9-game losing streak. The least of the Yankees' worries right this moment. Coming up, the latest on the possible elbow injury for Roger Clemens. Also ahead, which team will come out of the AFC North with a better record than last season? Will there be a new division winner? Keep it here. You'll find out all that good stuff and more at SportsCenter.
The Contender and all new season begins Tuesday at 10 p.m. only on ESPN.
Coors Light Silver Ticket promotion. You get icy cold refreshment plus the chance to win NFL tickets.
Everybody has a chance to get their bite of the apple.
So you're saying everybody gets a chance to win NFL tickets?
The rules are fair.
Regulations?
The regulations are fair.
Competitive balance.
The competitive balance is fair.
Look for the official entry code inside special packs of Coors and Coors Light for your chance to win NFL tickets, even Super Bowl tickets, and more.
Is there anything I can't win?
High performance helicopter.
Taste it, the authentic Italian flavor of Papa John's new Italian Meats Trio Pizza with our fresh hand-tossed dough, 3-cheese blend, zesty Robusto sauce, Italian ham, salami, and spicy Italian sausage. Taste our new Italian Meats Trio Pizza for just $11.99. Call or click papajohns.com and save Papa's Plus to add an order of cheese sticks for just $4 more.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Behind the headlines, beyond the highlights, beneath the surface, outside the lines, hosted by Bob Lee. Sundays at 9:30 and weekdays at 3 on ESPN.
Luann has a knife!
Put the knife down.
Luann, what are you doing?
I'm having lunch from KFC. It's real food, which requires a fork and a knife.
It's KFC, people.
Have a real meal for lunch. Come to KFC for any of our new $2.99 deals. World-famous chicken, choice of a side, and a flaky biscuit. Grab lunch for just $2.99. KFC chicken now has the same great taste with 0 grams of trans fat per serving.
They've outgrown their toddler seat, they're still not ready for adult safety belts alone. 4'9" is the magic number. Until then, kids need a booster seat. Make sure your little pumpkin gets there safely. Visit boosterseat.gov.
Bonus playoff battle. Entering Labor Day, the Yanks led the Mariners by 2 games in the AL wild card. Seattle on a season-long 9-game losing jay. The Yanks gaining ground even though they went 5-5 over the last 10. Teams have almost identical ERAs over the span. The M's actually have a better team batting average. It's all about timing, I guess. So the M's take their 9-game gorilla into Yankee Stadium, face Roger Clemens. Ichiro, in his career, just 2 for 20 against the Raj. Top first, Ichiro. 2 for 20. That's not so good, but 3 for 21. Actually, he's 1 for his last one, so he is on fire. He has finally solved Clemens in the third. Score the solo home run to right center. Mariners go up 2-1. Tonight he's 4 for 22. Clemens just can't get the guy out. The home run Ichiro's 200th hit this season. Ichiro, 7th consecutive season with 200 hits plus, tying Wade Boggs for second most all-time, trailing only Willie Keeler, who had 8 consecutive seasons with 200 hits. Ichiro, excellent work there. He's had as many as 262 in the season. Top 4, Ichiro again. Other way, RBI single. Ichiro going to get caught up in a hot box. He'll eventually give up and go to the dugout here. Key news, Clemens out after 4 innings pitched, 8 hits, 5 earned. Joe Torre says Clemens will get an MRI on his elbow after feeling pain in the joint. Should know more tomorrow after the docs get a good look at that thing. Mike Mussina coming out of the pen to replace Clemens. Now that's a lot of wins, replacing a lot of wins. First regular season relief appearance for Mussina. 498 starts in his career. It's Jose Vidro, his first batter looking. Wise move. Mariners leading 5-1. Mussina facing Unieski Betancourt. RBI double off the wall to the left. So the Mariners are going to go up 6-1. They're going to go on to win 7-1. Mussina 3 2/3 allowed 2 earned runs. So the Yanks shaky again. Pitching sore again. The Mariners snap a 9-game losing streak. Jump aboard, right? It's all about the Express. They moved to within just 1 game of the Yanks in that wild card. These two meet again Tuesday and Wednesday. So Yanks could be in second of this thing if they're not careful. The Yanks lose to the D-Rays Sunday, the M's today, and they were never really in either game. They've been outscored 15-3 in those games, out-homered 5-zip. And folks, they're at the stadium. One of those homers today, Ichiro. 3 hits Monday, has multi-hit games now in 9 of the M's last 14 contests, and again, over the 200 hit mark for the 7th straight season.
All right, so what about the Red Sox taking on the Blue Jays? Mike Lowell, cleanup hitter for the injured Manny Ramirez. Manny out with that oblique. Bottom first, Red Sox down 1, 2 on, and 1 gone. 3-run home run for Lowell is 18th, and the Red Sox up 3-1. Bottom 4, Dustin Pedroia up with the bases loaded. That's going to be trouble. 2 runs to score. Red Sox go up 7-1. Pedroia 3 for 5, 2 RBI, and 3 runs. 6th inning, Troy Gloss up with 2 on. Daisuke Matsuzaka had lost his last 3 starts trying to get it right. Troy Gloss is like, I got it right here. 3-run shot for him, his 19th of the season. Blue Jays down 10-5. Daisuke fretting as the lead starts to slip. Later in the 6th, Matt Stairs. Off the end of his bat, off Javier Lopez, 2-run score. They're charged to Daisuke. Stairs 4 for 4, pair of runs, pair of RBI. Blue Jays down 10-8. 2 batters later, tying run on third for Frank Thomas. That's well hit, but well played. Jacoby Ellsbury. And even Clay Buchholz will say, man, that rookie's pretty good. And Thomas like, I can't believe he did that. Top 7.
What Tyler Buchholz is.
Jays with the tying run at the plate. Hideki Okajima gets Vernon Wells. Red Sox out of the 7th inning jam. They win at 13-10. First time in 3 years they win while giving up 10. So what about the Angels now? AL West leaders taking on the A's. Irvin Santana 0-6 in his last 9 starts, but he gets Jack Hanahan, then Shannon Stewart, and Nick Swisher. Santana 6 in the 3rd, no runs, 2 hits, and 4 Ks. I think he's okay now. 4-0 Angels. Runners at 1st and 3rd, 2 outs for Garrett Anderson, and Chad Godin throws it away. Ball gets away from Kurt Suzuki, so the runner's on 2nd now. They intentionally walk Anderson, pitch to Maceres Turris, and there it goes again. Orlando Cabrera says, thanks, I'll score. Later in the at-bat, they finally throw one across the plate, and it's Turris says, thank you very much. 2 runners will score on that. That made it 7-0 Angels. You don't need to see the rest. Angels going to win the game by a score of 9-5.
Football me. Week 1 of the AFC North. Couple of intra-division matchups. Steelers at Browns. Steelers went 8-8 last season. Cleveland 4-12, 0-6 in the division. Ravens and Bengals, part of a Monday night doubleheader. Baltimore won the AFC North last season. A 13-3 mark. Bengals finished 8-8. With more on the AFC North, Trey Wingo.
More or less now focuses in on the AFC North, and we start at the bottom where we've had the Cleveland Browns the last couple of years. Just 4 wins, Eric, in 06, more or less.
You know what, the Cleveland Browns with that quarterback controversy, I'm going to go 4 or less, so I'm going to go less here. I just don't see this football team really getting off the mat.
Come on, Browns fans deserve more. I'm going more with this. Regardless of the quarterback situation, with Edwards getting better and Winslow, they're going to get to 5, but there will be a coaching change, unfortunately, there.
6 or fewer wins in 4 consecutive seasons for the Cleveland Browns. Let's go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Only 8-8 in 06, 500, more or less in 07.
A couple of years removed from the Super Bowl, this team has to have more wins. I think with a solid offseason from Ben, I'm going to go with more with the Steelers.
They're going more. They'll be in playoff contention, 9 or more wins. Got a good running back. Their defense will be there, and Mike Tomlin will prove why the Steelers have had 3 coaches in about 800 years.
And they've only had one losing season since 2000.